483-3030.
A popular tourist island south of mainland China has been hit by the most powerful typhoon in a decade, leaving the area facing potentially catastrophic winds and torrential rains.
Typhoon Yagi has more than doubled in strength since devastating the northern Philippines as a tropical storm earlier this week. Forecasters fear it is the strongest typhoon to hit China in a decade and have described it as extremely dangerous and powerful, with the potential to cause catastrophic damage in Hainan and neighbouring Guangdong. Parts of the region have been experiencing heavy rainfall and strong gales since Thursday, and China's weather authority expects rainfall to reach up to 500 millimetres.
The BBC's Laura Bicker. At least 17 students are dead, 13 others seriously burned. A fire ripped through a dorm in Kenya. School fires are common in Kenyan boarding schools. News and analysis, townhall.com. President Biden plans to sign an executive order for federal grants that would prioritize projects with labor agreements, wage standards, and benefits like access to child care and apprenticeship programs.
Biden is going to a union training center in Ann Arbor, Michigan, to announce the order as the administration has stressed the vital role that organized labor will play for Democrats in November's election. In her matchup against Republican Donald Trump, Vice President Kamala Harris is depending on backing from the AFL-CIO and other unions to turn out voters in key states. Trump has tried to make inroads with organized labor as well by having Teamsters President Sean O'Brien speak at the Republican National Convention. The Teamsters have yet to formally endorse any candidate, though Harris is expected to meet with them as well. The order would establish a task force to coordinate policy development with the goal of ensuring more benefits for workers. Bernie Bennett reporting.
The Dow futures up 14 points. NASDAQ futures down 41. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday.
Ah, yes.
We got there.
We made it, everybody.
It is Friday.
It is indeed.
And
an exciting Friday, too. I mean, football all over the place.
Yeah.
The kickstart to the NFL season was last night.
Yeah.
Tonight in Brazil. Actually, I think it's this afternoon in Brazil.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah.
But, I got the Brazil game. Of course, Coyote action a little closer to home here at the Bull Bowl tonight. Goddard on the road to Albuquerque tonight. We'll have those games for you. Radio only for Goddard, video and radio for Coyotes tonight. Video at KSBTV.com.
Knock on wood.
Yes. Radio is right here for Coyotes 106.5 Roswell Talk FM, for Goddard Rockets 106.1 FM Sierra. And then Bulldogs.
Yeah, pregame 12:30, kickoff at 1. You're a little low volume. You're going to turn up a bit.
Is better?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe a little better?
There you go.
All right. Cool. A little bit. Yeah. Just a Friday. Feeling a little bit
Headphones, my friend.
I know, I got to wear them here in a little bit.
They do amazing things.
I got a phone interview here in a bit, so I'll have to wear them.
Something interesting. It's always funny to me when you hear British turns of phrase, because they don't hit the ear quite right. Like, you know how we say knock on wood? And this is what triggered my head. You know what they say over there? Touch wood. They're like, well, touch wood, everything will work out okay. I'm like, touch wood?
I guess it's a kinder, gentler way.
It's a very kind, gentle way. I'm going to knock my wood. I want to touch wood. That feels wrong, especially in certain circles,
It
you know?
does have a different connotation
Right.
to me. But, yeah.
It's like,
Well, I still can't get over the whole torch flashlight thing.
oh, yeah.
Like, give me a torch. It's like, we haven't used torches in centuries, man.
What was the other one was in Across the Universe, they talk about trousers and pants. And then, haven't you ever heard of braces? They said, yes, we use them on our teeth.
Yes.
That's what they call suspenders over there.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing. And then I heard somebody say, they were talking about like something that happened over in Britain. And the guy said, it was quite pants.
I've heard pants
Pants, as in like that's bad.
Yeah.
How do we keep track of this?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
It's right up there with bollocks. Like sometimes I hear bollocks is a good thing, sometimes bad. Like Def Leppard one time says bollocks is a good thing, dog's bollocks is a bad thing.
I think it's all in the context in
Yeah,
which it's said.
Right?
I don't know.
Has to be.
Yeah.
Because they don't say pants over there, they say trousers. So pants, I guess, it makes sense as being like a derogatory term.
I guess. Maybe you pants somebody?
Maybe.
You know, like de-pants them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only way I could think of it.
It's the second time that's come up, pantsing has come up this week in my world. I was mentioning during Rhiannon's IEP that back when
Bless you,
we
Roy.
were in, bless you. Back when we were in middle school in 8th grade, somebody got pantsed in Carletta's class at Sierra Middle School. So it's a gentler time that we've entered into.
I saw a lot of pantsing in my younger days. That was just a thing, you know. I think it's more popular in sports world.
Yeah. Well, it also feels very like after Me Too and everything,
Yeah.
it feels like you can't really.
Oh yeah, this is back in the 90s.
We're living in a post-pantsing nation.
Yeah, this is back in the 90s. They're still, you know, and gym shorts are the ultimate pantsing shorts because they're drawstring.
There's no resistance.
Elasticity is
unless they've got like a banging keister. There's no resistance. Just pop right off.
That was always my problem.
This firm, round keister of mine.
I got a badonkadonk.
It does what it needs to do. It holds the pants up. That's right.
Actually, that's not true.
No, it's like a baby panda bear mine. It just cuts off at 90 degrees.
I don't know why, but all this talk of this, it just got me thinking of my friend's shoes from back in those days when we were like, he had a pair of and this was from the equivalent of what was like Payless back in the day. It was Flava shoes, I think is what it was. Something like
Nice.
that. But they had their brand name shoe was Olympian.
Okay.
And they had and they kind of looked like fake Nikes or whatever it was. But he had a pair that the zip, like the high, they were high tops, but you could zip the high top off to make them a low top.
To make them a low top.
Yeah, it was pretty.
That's genius.
In theory.
In the sneaker world, that's like the versatility that offers you. I mean,
Yeah.
think of the wardrobe options.
I think you should have took the tops and then made like 80s wristbands with
Right.
it.
Or so the zip off shoes, but then you had the zip off pants that go with it, because that was a big thing too back in the day. Like, why did we need to unzip our knee at the knees?
And you know what? Another thing was very big in that time was jackets that you could zip the sleeves off to make vests. I had a Minnesota Vikings jacket that did that. And my brother, I guess they had them on sale on Christmas because I got a Minnesota Vikings one and my brother got a Houston Oilers one. Mind us, we're both Redskins fans.
Sure. That's the thing about those pants from back tearaway pants from back in the day. What's the purpose?
Strippers.
That's the only thing I could think is it's used in a
short of Magic Mike. I've never seen a need
There's
for those
no
kind of
need
pants.
to remove pants with that level of quickness.
Yeah,
Unless you're really dealing with a bathroom situation.
Unless you're like a firefighter and need to get into the suit. Now
Right.
your clothes, maybe wear those all the time. So quick, get into the suit.
But they were so popular back in the day. Why were we so eager to get out of our pants? What was happening back in the day that we just had to get our pants off?
rougher materials. It was the soft plushiness.
It was a different time, kids.
Right.
We needed to remove our clothing with quickness.
That's right. Well, I got a guest calling in here in about 2 minutes, so I better get our hour going. Let me give you the rundown. Here in just a few minutes, we're going to be joined on the telephone by Shara Kloschicillage. She is the Republican candidate for House Rep 3rd Congressional District. So we're going to have a great conversation with her in just a few. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to have the folks from American Legion Post 61 family join us. It'll be Commander Lee and Jen joining us, give us an update what's going on there. And then Barbara Gomez with Main Street Roswell will join us in the 9 o'clock hour, give us an update there, probably talk a little Chili Cheese Fest, all that good stuff. So, and then, of course, we'll have all of your features, including news, weathers, and all that stuff.
Say it again.
What's that?
The name. Say it again.
Oh, Klostchillage.
Yeah. We had like 10 minutes of practice time before the show started.
Yeah, I hope I get it right. I think I got it. Klostchillage.
This is right up there with that social thing we dealt with a few years ago.
Yeah, this is a good one. I've been practicing.
Yes.
I'm still gonna botch it.
Should be good.
I'm good at that. All right, 7:13. Let's take a gander at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll stay in the mid-80s today with some sunshine, but we can't rule out a late-day shower or thunderstorm. Overnight, low to mid-60s and a few clouds, and then sunny on Saturday. Afternoon highs stay pretty comfortable in the mid-80s. Down to 60 on Saturday night under clear skies, and then mid to upper 80s for the afternoon high on Sunday and sunny. Things look good into next week. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 70 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 57% with winds currently out of the north at 12 miles per hour. Mostly sunny today, mid-80s, 85 for a high today. Winds will be out of the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, looking at an overnight low of 64 degrees. East winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For the weekend, mostly sunny for your Saturday, 84 for a high. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear tomorrow night, overnight low of 59 degrees, south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny and 86 for a high. Winds out of the south, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Might be increasing 10 to 15 for the afternoon. Sunday night, clear skies, overnight low of 57. And when you head back to work and school Monday, sunny skies with a high mid-80s, 86. It looks like 88 for Tuesday, 89, back into low 90s by Thursday of next week. So that's what they're saying now, but we got a week away from that. A lot can change in New Mexico weather in a week. So it may be rainy and 10 degrees cooler. Who knows by then? But that's what they're saying now. We could be back in the 90s by towards the end of next week. All right, it is 7:15. We're going to take a quick commercial break. As I mentioned, candidate for the New Mexico 3rd Congressional District, Sharon Klostchillage, will be joining us on the phone here in just a few. We'll be back. We'll do that on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel have been celebrating life for over 90 years. Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory celebrates and remembers Marilyn Louise Arnez passed away Wednesday, August 28th. There are no services scheduled at this time. Kay Armstrong passed away Wednesday, August 28th. No services are scheduled at this time. And Jason Bethany passed away on Friday, August 30th. There are no services scheduled at this time. LaGrone Funeral Chapel celebrates and remembers Virginia Catherine Cameron, who passed away on Friday, August 30th. Services will be Friday, September 6th, at 1 p.m. at LaGrone Funeral Chapel, with interment following the service at South Park Cemetery. This has been today's remembrance, brought to you by Ballard Funeral Home and Crematory and LaGrone Funeral Chapel.
As we start off a new school year, it's important to remember how important children are to God. Two of the first songs many of us learned as kids were Jesus Loves Me and Jesus Loves the Little Children. The following story is told about Jesus during his ministry. It goes like this. People were also bringing babies to Jesus for him to place his hands on them. When the disciples saw this, they rebuked them. But Jesus called the children to him and said, "Let the little children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom belongs to such as these. Truly I tell you, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it." See, Jesus wanted to spend time with children, to bless them, and he wanted us to learn lessons from them. Being like Jesus means caring for the well-being of children, all children. At Country Club Road, we love our kids, and your kids are our kids. So bring your family and join us as we do our best to know Jesus better.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
You can't hunt camels in Arizona, but you can buy them. They go for about $10 a pack. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us on the phone this morning for running for the New Mexico 3rd Congressional District here for the House Representatives, Republican candidate Sharon Klotchis-Chilich, joining us on the phone. Did I do it? I've been practicing.
Oh my gosh, you did beautifully.
Oh, good. Awesome. I've been practicing. So good morning. How are you today, ma'am?
I am great. Thank you, Mike. I'm doing very well.
Very good. Well, and this is something before, right out the gate here, folks here in, particularly in Roswell, you gotta, since they've done the whole redistricting, Roswell's kind of, many residents even still are a little confused on which districts represents them now. And if you live in Roswell, you could, in theory, fall in all 3 congressional districts here, depending on which part of town you live in. So
yeah, that's true.
So people have to pay a little bit more attention. So there's quite a few people in town that are under the 3rd congressional district. So this is the candidate you get to vote for here. So I know it used to be easy. We all were in CD2. We kind of just knew, but now it's depending on what part of town you are. I think technically I'm in 1, but like some friends, they're a couple blocks over. They're in 3. So.
Oh my gosh, that is really confusing. I know Hobbs is the same way.
Yeah,
Hobbs is real similar to that, where there are. No, I think it's this area, the 3 districts, and then I think it's Hobbs that has 2.
Yeah,
districts.
And now 2 is barely in, like it's like in the boot heel of Chaves County and covers more artesian stuff now. But we used to all exclusively be 2 here. So, I know one thing that we wanted to just touch on real quick. I know it's more impacts, but I know tomorrow they are going to be opening up the Republican Party headquarters in Artesia. And I know folks here, and we do have a headquarters here in Chaves County, Roswell. But folks, if you want to come out and meet and greet some candidates and things, they're going to be all down in Artesia tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
from 10 to 4.
Yeah, so you come and see the new headquarters and meet candidates. If you want to volunteer, because I imagine not only yourself but your other fellow Republicans in the other congressional districts could use a lot of volunteers to boots on the ground, knocking on doors, have volunteering wherever, getting the word out.
That's right. That's right. And time is really nearing for early voting, which begins next month. So we've got to get all the information out to help these people when they are working to make their choices in voting.
Absolutely. And that's just kind of curious what, since you've, been running and starting your campaign, I imagine you do get to spend a lot of time talking with people, all over the district here. And now that they've redistricted, it's kind of all over the place here. But what's the vibes you're getting around your district about, are certain parts of your district giving certain sentiments and other parts, or are you kind of getting a universal voice all across the district?
Okay. First of all, District 3 is the top portion of the state, the northern portion of the state. Mm-hmm. And then on the eastern side, it goes all the way down to Roswell, which, like we mentioned earlier, has representatives of 3 districts, 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. And, of course, that was done to take the Republican vote away from Yvette. And because they weren't wanting her to win so easily with the Republican vote. So that section was given to me, which is wonderful. I welcome it. I think it's great. Except, a lot of the people were very upset because they love Yvette.
Sure.
And they didn't want to give her up.
Well, I've had many opportunities to speak with her, and she's a fine lady, and I can see why.
Yes. And see, we were colleagues. We were both legislators together.
Yeah, because for folks that don't know, you've served in the state house. You've got quite a bit of experience under your belt too. Besides, this isn't your first rodeo.
Yeah, that's right. I'm a former school teacher, special ed, and then I'm also a former public servant at all levels of government, state, county, federal. Worked in D.C. About 14 years. Mm-hmm. Worked with Congress, worked with the departments, and worked with a lot of the embassies, a lot of the companies. And so I have that experience. And then I'm a veteran. And then I also ran for Secretary of State, lost that, but won as a legislator for District 4, which is in the northwestern part of the state.
Farmington area, right?
Yes, Farmington. Yes. I'm from San Juan County.
Okay.
Four Corners area, not right in the corner.
Gotcha.
Is where I'm from. Yeah.
Which, by the way, as far as like, this big oil and gas area, much like the southeast New Mexico is, so there's a lot of shared values there.
Oh, yes. In fact, a lot of the people, when our plants closed down, we have plants that have closed recently, a lot of the workers, either came down here to the Permian Basin or went to Wyoming, the Dakotas, Colorado, Utah. Yes. So we've lost a lot of our workers, and it really affected the economy of our
that Four Corners region. Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah, the Four Corners region. And so, but still, District 3 is very rich in resources because of the two basins, the Permian and then the San Juan Basin.
Sure.
And basically, the two basins support the state, the state budget. Over 50% of taxes, the tax money, come from the two basins into the budget.
Yep.
So we're very important, not only to the state, but to the global economy.
Absolutely. And that's kind of been the rub. It's, obviously, from your perspective here, going from a house level here, but still the state relies so much on oil and gas, but does very minimal to support it.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. But, like you said, it's supported in way of the returns from it. It's really welcome, but then its presence supposedly is not supported. However, how can you have one without the other?
Exactly.
So, so that's kind of where we are with that. And I'm very supportive of oil and gas. I mean, I come from an area, like you said, that is very similar to the Permian Basin. So I know what it's like to have plants shut down and then lose that and have it affect our economy in way of all areas, education all the way to our tax base, etc.
Sure. This is something and I'm just stating now. I'm a radio guy. I'm trying to always, we give everybody fair shots and things, but this is just my own personal observation that with our current House representatives in all three districts, I just get this feeling, particularly this year. Now that we got a national election, obviously that's the center stage. The Trump and Kamala, that's the top prize fight right now. But but to me, it's just that New Mexico's just we're ranked in the bottom in so many things and so many categories that matter. And I don't know. I consistently see on social media, because that's the only way I kind of be able to follow our representatives, because they don't come see us, but occasionally on social media, and all I ever see them for is either stumping for national Democratic policies, or focus on one little thing they did and said. But it's just, to me, it seems like, when is our representatives going to represent us instead of just being a shill for the party? And I feel that's what we got right now, and it's kind of
upsetting.
Thank
you so much.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, and I, too, share your view, share your emotion about being upset, because, they're pushing the progressive agenda, which does not fit our state.
Sure.
Our state does not fit into that agenda. And you look at our needs. Our needs are not being represented. They're not on the table of Congress, and we need them. We have important needs. We have our resources. We have people who are suffering now because of the fire that took place up north. And then we have the Rio Doso fire. We have a lot of our infrastructure breaking and affecting the health, the welfare of our people in District 3. We have we're aging. Our communities are aging, and as a result, the infrastructure is going to be needing more help, therefore more money. Therefore, county and the state can't afford these huge amounts of additional revenue necessary for the fixing of some of these areas. And these are areas that are so important, but they're not being advocated for. And it isn't until they become emergency level that they're finally looked at. But even then, there's pause, and they're not being taken care of. And so, yeah, you're absolutely correct. We don't have representation, and that's what I'm all about. I'm running because of the lack of representation, because of the lack of a voice on our behalf in Congress. And so you look at what's being given. I mean, we're low in everything. New Mexico is low. And I notice anytime the media begins announcing information about New Mexico, I don't know how or who presents that information. They never have information about us to present. It's like there was just a poll taken, and I saw it on KLTV yesterday, where my opponent is at 52% and I'm at 39%. And this is a polling agency that is located out of Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And I was looking at how they poll, and they choose a area within, like, my district, District 3, and that's who they poll. Well, so that puts me 12 points behind my opponent. I disagree with that, because if you were to go to western New Mexico, and if you were to go to eastern New Mexico, parts of my district, I think that you'd find a very different, the result would be very different.
Sure.
So, so I disagree with that.
And another, to kind of add to that a little bit, is and this is where we need to kind of rally the troops a little bit. Voter turnout in New Mexico, numbers are low. In southeast New Mexico, they're very low. And I'm not gonna, I'm just gonna throw this out there. I'm gonna, some of Yvette Harrell's issues before redistricting happened because of low voter turnout. Like, the numbers, Republicans weren't voting. It wasn't that they weren't going to the polls. So I'm hoping, the fact that it's a national election this year hopefully spikes those numbers. But people in New Mexico need to this is the one thing, that the one power you have that actually gets to make a difference. Yelling and spouting off on social media is fun, but it doesn't get anything done. You're going into that voter booth and making the choice that you deem best that represents you. That's how it works. And I know we live in a world where everyone's like, well, if you vote for this, is a this and that. It's like, and I always tell people, do your research your candidates, find the ones that, and then vote for them. That's how this works. And if you do that, the process does work. And
Mike, you're absolutely correct about that. We had a lot of our southeastern voters were very angry about the about the redistricting. They were angry about losing Yvette. They were angry about the party. They were angry about National Party. And so a lot of them just chose to retreat and stay home.
Yeah.
As a result of that, it impacts who we have representing us in office.
Absolutely.
It really does. And so whoever wins is who runs the government. And whoever wins is the one who will deliver our side, our principles, our values, to Congress. And we lost. We lost.
And it's a tactic. I mean, sure. I mean, the other side that says, yeah, go ahead and stay home and vote and not vote. We get,
Right. Thank you.
That's the win. If by doing nothing, you give them the win, basically.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's exactly.
And we have to change that. We have to change that. Like with me, I'm running because of the lack of representation. I do not like how New Mexico was perceived.
Mm-hmm.
We're perceived as a progressive state. We're perceived as being for abortion, for open borders, for everything we're not. We're perceived as being supportive of that.
Sure.
Because the majority in the state are, support that view. And the majority in our state support a view that is contrary to where we stand, where our view of the needs of our state. And so we really need to change that, and we need to give up our retaliation method of showing it by not voting. We need to give that up and move on and help our party to get the sense that is needed back into the state. That is really, 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 really critical that we do. We need to do that and get out to vote.
Sure. Well, it's kind of, always, because New Mexico, I mean, and this is not unique to New Mexico. This is any urban versus rural type mindset where, obviously when if you look at land-wise and you look at New Mexico and all of the land and the people and where they live, if you look at like territory-wise, most people live in rural areas, and generally speaking, they share family value, conservative. That's generally the typical lifestyle of someone in that environment. Whereas in a more populated area like our Albuquerque, Cruces, or Santa Fe are bigger. What we can, you're going to find younger, newer people, and those with that comes with more liberal thinking and things and stuff. So that, and so really it feels like all the decisions are coming out of the city. When everyone who lives not out of the city is like, well, that's not how I think. So unless you live inside the city proper, then a lot of New Mexicans don't share that value. So that's why it's kind of that much more important for folks out in the rural areas, and that this is how you got to get your voice out. Everyone, the media and everyone else is in the city and everything else and has all the access to and let's face it, the media right now is spinning a liberal agenda across the board. Just, you say what you want, but the numbers, that's the way they're going. And so the onus is on you to do your own research and do your thing. But that's why it's that much more important for the folks out in the backwoods, so to speak, the rural parts, to get out there and vote, because if everybody does that, you can make that impact and move the needle in a state like this where it feels like where the cities control the elections. That's that the only way you can do is get out and vote. It's the only way.
Mike, I was looking at the populations for District 3, U.S. Congress, District 3. I was looking at all the populations, and I was looking at the voter turnout. We have not been very, we have not been effective at all. The percentage of turnout is tremendously low.
Sure.
Really low. And, if we get Trump in, no, let me change that. When we get Trump in, we are going to have to help him because he has a big fight ahead of him. And this is why it's very important that we get U.S. Congress candidates into that seat, first of all, so that we can flip New Mexico to red.
Sure.
Secondly, by doing that, then that gives Trump the ability to move on a lot of the ideas that he's wanting, which we all favor, in the right direction. Otherwise, he has a big fight against him. Look at where he's fighting now. That will still be there, and that's what he's going to have to fight if we don't get Republicans into these slots to help him out. That's a real concern of mine. I mean, we need to get our senators replaced with Republicans. We need to get our Congress seats replaced by Republicans, and only then can we help Trump and give him the power to move in our favor in a lot of these issues that need so much to be flipped.
Absolutely. You know, and you mentioned I kind of wanted to bring up a quick point. You were talking a little bit about, getting flipping and you mentioned the Senate race there and those attack ads are starting to show up on TV and things on both sides. And this is the advice I always tell people, please. And this applies to both sides on this. Whenever you see an attack ad, regardless who puts it out, do your own research on that, because generally what you're going to find in an attack ad, there's this little sliver of what they're talking about, but once you do the research on it, it turns out that it's not as heinous as what they're trying to paint it out to be. It's kind of like when you get a someone voting in Congress or what have you, and they say they didn't vote on or voted on a certain bill, and that bill talked about abortion, but what happens is it was a good bill, but then another legislator tacks on something and makes the bill tainted, and so they have to vote against it. But now in the attack ad, it's like, this candidate X doesn't support kids or whatever. That's how they spin that. So do your own research on that. And before you just automatically believe those kind of things, because I know, like, I've been seeing those ads, and I think they pretty much saying one's a shill for China. I'm just like, come on, man, this is just ridiculous. You gotta do your homework on it. Otherwise, they're gonna make you think they're all Martians and they eat fetuses or something weird. That's what they got you doing.
What's really interesting, Mike, is that it's like 'tis the season. When the political season arrives, it's like tis the season when we all of a sudden see all these deliveries being made by our sitting politicians, our sitting representatives. Case in point, look at my district. All of a sudden, we're having these big chunks of money being delivered to the sheriff's department, to the Navajo reservation, to some of the areas in Santa Fe and Las Vegas. And it's like, wait a minute. Why now? Why not earlier when we needed it? Yeah, of course. That's why I'm saying 'tis the season. So
that's the best thing about election year. You suddenly get things that you've been waiting for years.
Yeah, right. There's an influx of all this help that supposedly isn't there.
Yeah.
And the ability to access that kind of money supposedly isn't there, but magically, 'tis the season arrives and all this money is delivered, all this help suddenly appears. And I'm just sitting there going, wow.
Absolutely.
All this money could have gone up north to the people who are still waiting to receive the help that was promised to them.
Absolutely.
2 years ago. So it's interesting. So I keep thinking, all right.
Yeah.
It's false to think.
It is. And
nothing's available.
And this is what I was saying. This is why, folks, you need to do your research. When you go to and I invite you to go visit Sharon's website. Please do go. Are you going to be in Artesia tomorrow?
Yes, I am. In fact, I'm going to be at the opening of the Republican headquarters, and then later in the day at 4:30, there's a rally the vote at the Country Club. I'm going to be there from 4:30 to 7.
Excellent.
And
the Country Club in Artesia?
In Artesia. Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. Excellent. I was like, Country Club in Artesia, Roswell. Country Club in Artesia. Perfect. Yeah. So get on down there, and you can come and check out the Republican Party headquarters. I'm sure yourself and there'll probably be various other candidates from around the district that'll also be there that you can meet and talk to as well.
Absolutely. And if they want more information on me, they need to go to SharonForNM.com, and there's all kinds of information that people may want to know about me, more my background, and that'll help them in making a good decision for a person to hold this position for U.S. Congress, New Mexico District 3.
Absolutely. Oh, one thing I did want to talk to you just real quick about, because this is and I'm sure you're very familiar with this, is something that this part of the the state deals with a lot, and it's federal lands and dealing with these lesser prairie chickens and sand dune lizards and some of this stuff. Just share people your thoughts on some of that. And obviously, as a House rep, this would be the kind of stuff that you can really can do some work for New Mexicans on. Okay.
Remember, I'm running for Congress.
Yes.
But I have a lot of concern about this because a lot of times there's been inaccurate information presented to the legislators regarding, like the prairie chickens, the different animals that are perceived as being endangered. When I was a legislator, there was legislation brought before us regarding the prairie dog.
Mm-hmm.
There was they wanted to put the prairie dog on the endangered list. I couldn't believe it. See, I'm from the side of the state where prairie dogs are not friendly to us.
It'd be like listing the cockroach.
Right. There we go. And the ranchers were up in arms, over here on the eastern side, on the western side, and even up north, way up north. They were upset and going, what is this about? So finally, one of the ranchers said, and it was from the eastern side, all right, if they want to put them on the endangered list, then here's what we can do. We can cage them all up, and we'll deliver them to Albuquerque, to Santa Fe, to the towns who want them listed as endangered, and we'll deliver all our prairie dogs to them. And then we'll see what they think after a while. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
And I think we really need to be careful on the what and who we put on the endangered list.
Sure.
I say who because there's a lot of people who need to be put on the endangered list.
Absolutely. But this is kind of, as a House, in Congress here, because this is where, let's face it, at that level, this is where they back off. If we've got the people in Congress and obviously in the White House, then you start to see policies change in BLM and these things. And next thing you know, they're not listing and doing all this stuff. So again, that's kind of, but I know like Congressman Steve Pierce, he did a lot of headway in the CD2 seat to help that fight there. So I'm sure as a CD3 rep, you would be fighting that same fight for New Mexicans.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, definitely. In fact, I would rely on the advice and of Steve Pierce. I mean, he's now a veteran, of CD3.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope to, be able to operate off his knowledge, off his experience. And, yeah, you're absolutely correct about that because that definitely is something that we need to look at. We need to really look at the base of everything, look at our border. We need to look at that and make sure that we represent accurately what the communities are wanting.
Sure.
For the different areas that come up.
And I could tell you this right now: if say the Democrats win the presidency here in the fall, I will tell you this: you will see more of that kind of regulation going on here, not less. And the last thing we want is representatives representing us that are going to let them just do that free fall.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Right. You're absolutely, and you know what? That is that's dangerous for all of us who really are against all of that. It really is dangerous. And our concern isn't made up. Our concern is not dreamed. Isn't a dream that we had last night.
Mm-hmm.
Our concerns are really looking at the needs of the state, looking at the needs of the community, looking at the delivery of services. That's what our concern is about. We're concerned about the safety and needs of the people, the New Mexicans of our state, not what California wants, what Oregon wants, what the state of Washington wants. No, it's what New Mexico needs. So that's what I see, and that's where I'm coming from, because this is ridiculous. Some of the things, that are being proposed for the state of New Mexico, and you nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
New Mexico is a rural state.
Mm-hmm.
Rural living is very different from the liberal view of community living.
Absolutely.
They haven't come on to see what rural living is really all about. And, you think about it, the liberals can't perceive what rural living is, and you can tell from just the way they look at New Mexico. They kind of overlook us as New Mexicans because we have a big dollar sign for New Mexico. I mean, look at what it costs to provide some of the very necessary services for our people: electricity, water, sewage, infrastructure upgrades, the grids. A lot of our grids are old. We need them. I mean, all of those have a very, very high price tag. Look at our tax base. Our tax base really needs to be blown up.
Well,
it needs to be.
And the thing is, there's so much potential, and with the right people stirring the right pots and opening the right channels, New Mexico could go from 50th in these numbers to in the middle of the pack at least overnight. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just if we and I'm originally from Maryland. I grew up in D.C. area. That's where I'm from. My military brought me to Mexico. I've been to New Mexico for 25 years now, or over 25 years. But so I've been in Mexico more than I've been in Maryland. But it always amazes me because I didn't grow up in New Mexico history like I grew up in Maryland history. You go to school, learn Maryland history, and so I learned it as an adult. But as I learn, I'm like, man, no wonder this state is screwed up because of. You go to Lincoln, New Mexico, and just read all the signs. You learn that this state was corrupt long before it was a state.
Yes.
and when it became a state, that just corruption kept going. And I don't think it's ever been right ever since this state's been a state. So
no, because it works for all the people who come from that type of thinking.
Sure,
it works for them.
Absolutely.
And if they continue to be the majority, it will continue to thrive and grow.
Absolutely. So you just get the right people in there. So, and it starts by you getting out and voting. So that's
absolutely.
Excellent.
You're talking about living in Maryland. When I lived in D.C., there are a couple of things I learned about the thinking. First of all, the United States ends at the Mississippi River, and then it circles around to California.
Yeah.
That's the United States.
Right. And they still think we're in Mexico, by the way. Yeah. They still think we're in a foreign country over here.
Yeah, right. And then you look at when people are moving into D.C., trying to figure out where they're going to live. Are they going to live in D.C.? Are they going to live in Virginia or Maryland? People gravitate to Maryland because Virginia is viewed as being older and
it's a little more conservative,
less accommodating. Yeah. So I look.
Gun laws in Maryland are archaic. They're like D.C. but Virginia's a little bit more little more. They got a little bit more freedoms and guns there. Not much, but a little bit more.
Yes. I look at that and I compare it to what we're going through over here, and there are a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
A lot of similarities in the thinking. Yeah.
It is. It's that Beltway mentality. Inside the Beltway is one thing, and when you get outside of it, it starts getting normal.
Absolutely. Well, when we moved out there, we lived right behind the Capitol.
Okay. So
and my husband hated it. He hated it. And he wanted to go somewhere where you didn't have to pay for parking. It felt more like home. So we moved all the way out to Germantown.
Yep. And that's on the now you're getting to where it's so busy there where Germantown's even getting to where you got to keep going farther out.
Yeah, right. So when we were there though, you could still drive up to a business and park, in their parking lot.
Yeah.
But it's growing. Everything's growing out.
Yeah,
now. That's changed.
I got family that lives way down in southern, like Calvert County, Maryland, and then my brother lives in Northern Virginia. He lives around Lorton area.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, he moved farther out. He was farther in. Now he's out by Lorton now.
Yeah. Wow.
So,
Wow.
but let's bring him. And most people are like, Lord, what are you talking about? So,
Yeah, right.
but would love to invite you. Come check out Sharon's website. Give out your website and give out just best ways for people to kind of get in a hold of you or get in touch with you if you want to learn more about you.
Yeah. My website is sharon4nm.com. And everything you want to know about me is there. And if there is a question that you have about me or about what you read, all the information on how to contact me is there at sharon4nm.com.
Yeah.
And so I invite you to do that, learn about me, and call me.
Absolutely. And then,
or
of course,
text me or email me.
Yeah, or come meet her tomorrow. Like I said, she'll be at the grand opening of the Republican Party headquarters in Artesia tomorrow. And then, of course, you'll be at the country club thereafter later that evening. So you'll be in Artesia tomorrow. If you'd like to come and talk with Sharon and get more involved, maybe you can get help out with the campaign, or if you've got questions you want to ask her, it's a great time to chit chat and meet. And I imagine you as a candidate, this is your favorite part because you get to learn and talk with people, and this is kind of where you kind of get the lay of the land a little bit and what people are thinking.
Yes, I think after former President Trump, there was that attempted assassination on him. I think a lot of us perked up after that.
It was a huge...
realized, a wake up. It was a wake up call.
Well, it's when you see all the stuff going on TV and the back and forth and the vitriol and all that, it's easy to just kind of, but then when you see real people taking shots, that hits different. You know what I mean? That hits different than, you can say the most heinous things online and people laugh it off, or but when it's real and people and bullets are flying, that's when people said, "Oh, this is serious." You know what I mean? It
is.
Yeah, and so I hope it did wake a lot of people up because it should. So.
And I guess what's really, really, really encouraging for me is that the public are seeing exactly what's going on with the Biden administration versus what Trump has done and then what he's saying now. There's a comparison there, a three-way comparison. And now all of a sudden the Democrats have decided that, hey, maybe we need to get those votes that Trump is getting by saying we're going to do everything we have said we're not going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to do it now.
Now, that's the red flag. If people that are saying the opposite of what they've been saying for years now, that means they're lying to you.
Yeah, right. And I think people are finally getting that.
Yeah.
They're getting that.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing about that is change occurs, but that's a TV change. In other words, within seconds on TV, there are these huge mind-setting changes that occur. And they're implying that they can do that. You can't. You can't change that quickly. Going from no fracking to fracking.
Not on the drop of a hat like that. And when you've been on a stumping against it for so long, Yeah, right.
Yeah. Going from being against the border to closing the border?
Yeah.
Come on. I listen to that and I think, oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
We're not. Please, that's an insult on our intelligence.
You're absolutely
correct. That really is insulting us to think that we could buy that and believe it.
That's why we tell you, get in there and vote. This is, take all the noise and all of that, and you get in there and you vote what you believe is the right thing. And then,
and like you've been saying, do the research.
Do the research.
Do the research.
Absolutely. Yes. Well, Sharon, we're about to get up on the top of the hour here, so we probably got to wrap this up. But thank you so much for spending time with us. And anytime you're in town, please come visit. And we'd love to hear more as the campaign goes. And let us know what we can do to help you fight the good fight.
Well, thank you, Mike. And you're doing it right now. And I just want to remind people that, vote for Sharon Klautschillich and go to my website, sharon4nm.com.
Good deal. Well, thank you, ma'am, so much. And hopefully we get to talk a bunch of conversations about what you got going on in Congress.
Right.
Awesome.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Day.
You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, there was Shara Kloschchilich, the New Mexico 3rd Congressional District candidate for the Republican Party here. If you missed any part of that, we'll have it up on our ksvptv.com website there and all. Let's do this. Let's do a quick news update and quick break before national news. Don't go away.
Now, for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. City of Artesia officials are speaking out against a state mandate involving electric vehicles. The state will soon require new EV charging stations to be installed at certain new construction projects across New Mexico. Last month, the Artesia City Council approved a resolution that opposes these new rules. A city spokesperson says Artesia council members believe such new rules should be approved and passed by lawmakers and not enacted or enforced in the form of code rules. The public is invited to explore Roswell's 7 Museum for free on Saturday, September 14th, during the 2nd annual Museum Day, Roswell. The purpose behind Museum Day is to encourage exploration of the city's local museums and discover a wealth of knowledge our community museums offer. During the event, each of the 7 venues will offer different activities, including tours, scavenger hunts, kids' arts and crafts, and refreshments. There will even be prize drawings at each site. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla español.
The perfect pair of glasses is a lot closer than you think. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs is now accepting new patients 5 and up. The Eyesight accepts all VSP vision plans for full contact lens and glasses, as well as Medicare, Davis, and more. Designer frames from Maui Gyms, Oakley, and so much more. The Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, and Hobbs offers complete eye care, including pre- and post-cataract and LASIK, as well as glaucoma testing. The perfect pair is waiting for you at the Eyesight in Roswell, Carlsbad, or Hobbs. Clearly the best in sight.
Bill Cunningham is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. The Fed has some more economic data to digest as it debates what to do about interest rates. The August jobs report out this morning.
The Labor Department says employers added 142,000 jobs last month, up from just 114,000 in July. The unemployment rate ticked down to 4.2% from 4.3% in July. Last month's rate had been the highest in nearly 3 years. Collectively, the figures depict a job market slowing under the pressure of high interest rates, but still growing.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Colin Gray, the 54-year-old father of Georgia school shooting suspect Colt Gray, faces charges including second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter.
These charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son, Colt, to possess a weapon.
Georgia Bureau of Investigation Director Chris Hosey, the 14-year-old suspect, and his father will both stay in custody following back-to-back court hearings a short time ago. The Biden administration planning to send more U.S. aid to Ukraine as Ukraine's president appeals to the West for additional backing.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has met top U.S. military leaders and more than 50 partner nations in Germany to press for more weapons support, as Washington announces it will provide another $250 million in security assistance to Kyiv. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the meeting of the leaders was taking place during a dynamic moment in Ukraine's fight against Russia as it conducts its first offensive operations of the war, while facing a significant threat from Russian forces near a key hub in the Donbass. So far, Ukraine's Kursk attack has not drawn away President Vladimir Putin's focus from taking the key Ukrainian city of Pokrovsk. I'm Charles Philadesma.
A mixed picture on Wall Street with the Dow up 114 points while the Nasdaq is down 156. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Telegram CEO Pavel Durov promising to step up efforts to fight criminality on the messaging app.
In a Telegram post, the app's founder has made his first public comments since French authorities handed in preliminary charges for allegedly allowing the platform's use for criminal activity. Durov's defending himself against the French judicial probe, suggesting that he personally shouldn't have been targeted. He insists that Telegram is not some sort of anarchic paradise, but he also said surging numbers of Telegram users caused growing pains that made it easier for criminals to abuse our platform. Durov wants to significantly improve things. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Secretary of State Blinken has arrived in Haiti, reaffirming the U.S. commitment to a multinational mission deployed to fight gangs in the Caribbean country and push for the organization of long-awaited general elections. Today's arrival of America's top diplomat comes as a contingent of some 400 Kenyan police lead a UN-backed mission in Haiti. News and analysis at townhall.com. The NFL's season opener last night was decided by a referee undertaking a video review, resulting in the Ravens' loss to the Chiefs 27-20.
Patrick Mahomes threw for 291 yards and a touchdown, and the Kansas City defense kept Lamar Jackson and the Ravens out of the end zone on 3 consecutive plays in the closing seconds. That allowed the Chiefs to begin their pursuit of a third straight Super Bowl title with a 27-20 victory over Baltimore Thursday night. The game ended with a video review after Jackson appeared to hit Isaiah Likely in the back of the end zone with no time left for a touchdown. The video clearly showed Likely's toe on the line, though, and the call was overturned and the pass ruled incomplete. Bernie Bennett reporting.
Sweden says kids under the age of 2 should not be exposed to any digital screens, a recommendation issued by the country's public health agency. It's the latest in a worldwide attempt to limit screen time for younger children. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. So they go guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
They call it the Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday.
Yes, welcome to it.
Rolls off the tongue.
It does.
Very well.
Finally, Friday.
It was funny, when they were doing the news there just a second ago, and they were talking about the Chiefs-Ravens game last night, how the Chiefs won with the Ravens scored the touchdown at the end, but didn't because the guy's foot was like 1 inch out of bounds or whatever it was. And,
I didn't see the game last night, but
I saw parts of it, but I had meetings last night, so I caught a little bit. But just as they were doing the story, I was on the Twitters, the tweets, the X's, whatever they call it. And the Ravens got trolled right at that time.
Oh, yeah?
Because it was the Baltimore Ravens, they got the touchdown, they put on their Twitter, touchdown!
that?
Mm-hmm.
Community notes. No, it wasn't.
Oh, you love it when Community Notes catches you.
I just scrolled down and showed up as a community notes. No, it literally just says, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Just to provide some added context, no, the heck it wasn't. Nice try, though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
Sorry, Ravens fan, but that was funny. I saw that and I was like, I have to chuckle. If I was a Commanders fan, I would be salty, but it's funny.
My mind flashes to the meme, like, all Ravens fans, and flashes to the meme of Jesse Pinkman going, he can't keep getting away with it. Did you hear the latest about the whole Patrick Mahomes thing? Okay, first of all...
so what's the latest of the latest? I don't know.
He and his brother signed a $100 million podcast
You're talking
deal.
about Kelsey.
Huh? Travis Kelce. Sorry,
Not Mahomes.
Sorry, Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
But the other news that's coming out is that they've already drafted a breakup letter, Kelsey and Taylor Swift, that will be released on September 28th.
Ooh, what's the 28th?
I don't know. They just said that's when the letters will be dropped. This has already been drafted. They've already worked it out so that this is how it's going to be presented. They want to present a front of mutual respect, love, and understanding, but then
they got to
going to be happening
because the NFL knows if the Swifties are mad at Kelsey,
the ire of the Swifties comes down. Yeah.
Oh my God! Never hear the end
I'm pretty sure it's all just like tabloid nonsense that they've already drafted a breakup letter. The other story,
I already heard they got their frozen head chamber ready to put their frozen heads at the end.
They do. Apparently, Taylor Swift has been drafting plays.
What?
Yeah, she's been writing plays for Kelsey.
Wow.
Yeah. And she said most of the plays obviously involve him, but yeah, drafting plays for the Chiefs now.
No one's actually using said plays, are they?
I would hope not.
I know, like.
Although it would be great to find out that this was a Taylor Swift original play.
To be honest, though, I know how the Chiefs kind of, because I've seen enough like documentaries and how they, the coach does let the players cook. Like Mahomes, those guys, those guys have plays. Like some of those end zone goofiness that Mahomes does, that's all stuff he worked on with the team and the coach, Reed kind of said, yeah, do your thing. So it would not be surprised if she's pillow talk double X wide out with them.
I just can't see her going, okay, so twins left and right. Victory formation. I just can't see her playing this out.
You're in the Z. He's over in the...
All right, home front offense. Now, if she was drafting touchdown celebrations, then I'd be a lot more receptive to that.
Yeah, that would be her wheelhouse.
Like if all of a sudden, they spike the ball and go, you're never, ever, ever, ever getting in the end zone, then I understand.
See, what I'd do if I'm Travis, I'd be like, yeah, I wrote this song here.
Exactly.
I
wonder if it's a trade-off. It's like, fine, let me do 3 on your new album. I'll let you draft a couple of plays.
That's right.
We'll go from there.
I pictured you singing with Neo on this one.
The word that I heard this morning is that Swifties have already worked out that with her tour schedule, she should be available for at least 16 games this season.
Thank goodness for that. Thank goodness.
Yeah, that's how you know you made it.
I was concerned about these things.
That's how you know you made it, when Swifties start planning your calendar for you.
That's right. Sorry, Swift fans. You are now at the mercy of the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm excited to hear about their merger.
You're right.
Taylor Swift ex Kansas City Chiefs.
They're just going to be the Kansas City Swifties.
There you go. I like it. The Kansas City Swift.
I'm not going to lie. As a Commanders fan, watching a little bit of that game last night, it makes me a little salty.
Yeah?
When I watch Chiefs games and they do a great play and that whole crowd starts doing that, whoa, 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 whoa.
Yeah, I get that.
I'm like, why do they get to do that?
They get to do it.
And my team doesn't even get to, you speak its name and you will be sent to the nether regions. It's like, what is going on here?
How dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand how that could be a little infuriating.
It does make me feel a little mad. I feel a certain kind of way about
certain
it.
way.
People say.
So what we need to do is come up with something for the Commanders that can be their new chant. That's like just something that's trendy, something that's.
They did try something that they caught on for 3 seconds.
They should go very observant, very demure. that's what their new thing should be.
Well, there was a thing in the transition time when they weren't the Commanders, but they weren't the Redskins, and they were just the Washington football team.
Right.
That little creamy middle. Wale, who's a big Washington fan and all that, he had a left hand up song, and he was doing and there was a whole left hand up thing that was going on with the Washington football team at that time. So that's the only time we've ever had anything remotely like that.
You know what's funny is, and this is strictly speaking from the realm of a fan of pro wrestling and watching how their crowds react. The song Seven Nation Army gets worked into a lot of chants in the stands. Oh,
there you go. They worked that in there.
Whoa, let's go, Commanders.
Well, we have a song.
I know.
They ripped off the old Hail to the Redskins song and spun it into a Hail to the Commander song.
I do have to mention this. It's an oldie, but I'm so glad they brought it back. There's a Snickers ad that's currently making the rounds.
Oh yeah, with the Chiefs.
Yes.
Yeah, they redid it with Reed.
It.
Yeah, I did see that.
Who are the chefs? And he walks off and he does the exact same. Great googly moogly.
Yeah,
I love that.
I saw they rebooted it.
Reskinned it. Yeah.
Yeah. I did know. You know, I wish. Speaking of rehashing commercials, I wish the Corona people would finally retire that Christmas commercial. That's literally, it's so old that it's not in HD and it looks so antiquated compared to the other commercials on TV now.
You mean the one where they light the palm tree?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think there's no words. I think it just says like doo 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 doo, and it says Happy Holidays and a palm tree lights up and then it moves on. It's fine, but it's like refilm it into modern filmage, please, so it doesn't look like, like we're looking at videos from the 70s.
Yes and no. I agree with you to a point.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those iconic commercials that I never want them to remake because they need to be in their grainy, old school. Specifically, the Hershey's Kiss commercial.
Yeah.
That's been running for 27 years where they ring the bells.
Yes.
That commercial should never be remade. Just keep running that same commercial for eons.
Well, the one with the Corona, though, that bugs me is that because it's so antiquated, it's always boxed in and it just looks bad. Like even like the other one that they've rehashed 7 million years is the M&M's commercial with the Santa. And it's like where they both Santa faints and the M&M faints as they see each other. That commercial they've been doing, but that one's filmed, or I don't know if they refilmed it or repackaged it, but
I think they digitally remastered it to where it's HD.
Then do that to the Corona one if you're going to be doing that for the next 30 years. Let's upgrade it so it doesn't look like an episode of I Love Lucy now compared to everything else that's on.
I just feel like there's some traditions that shouldn't ever. There was a commercial when I was a kid, and they don't air it anymore, but it used to be every Christmas for Fruity Pebbles. And I memorized that song. Ho, 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 I'm hungry.
I remember that.
Yeah, I love that commercial. Just for some reason, like 10 years ago, they just stopped airing it. Oh my God, the Frito Bandito. He was amazing.
Yeah, they frown upon that one.
They're a little sensitive about that.
It was very popular among Hispanics.
I was about to say, they sold a lot of Fritos.
Like a hero to them.
Yeah, they sold a lot of Fritos.
He liked Frito-Lay corn chips. He bagged them for you.
What was it? There was something else I was going to mention. Just forget it. It was something that the moment has passed. I was going to say something I forgot. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get the hour going.
Yeah, why
here.
not?
We got our guest here and in place, and I have nothing else to pontificate about. So, hey, real quick, I do want to remind folks, Football Friday, we got you covered. Roswell Coyote football. Tonight they're in the Wool Bowl. We'll have that game on the radio here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Pre-game will start probably around 6:40 or so with kickoff at 7. We'll also have live streaming video, ksvptv.com and the Roswell Coyote channel. Got it, Rocket Football. They're on the road. They're up in Albuquerque tonight. We are going to have radio only of that broadcast for you, and you can hear that on our sister station, 106.1 FM Fierro. When we get to the Albuquerque, other video people have, it's territory. It's like the the sharks and the no, that's our territory. Can't film here. So we can't film there. But we will have audio of it. KSVPTV.com will have audio of it as well. No video tonight. Bulldogs are in action tomorrow afternoon. So if you're looking for a Bulldog game tonight, you will not find one. They travel to Las Cruces to take on Centennial tomorrow afternoon. We'll have that game for you on our sister station, 990 AM KSVP. Live streaming video, KSVPTV.com, in the Artesia Bulldog channel. We will have Eastern New Mexico University Greyhound football on the radio for you tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. They are at home, and we'll carry that game for you. Doc Elder will call that matchup for you again. Kickoff is at 6 p.m. tomorrow night. You can hear that right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. All right, it is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll stay in the mid-80s today with some sunshine, but we can't rule out a late-day shower or thunderstorm. Overnight, low to mid-60s and a few clouds, and then sunny on Saturday. Afternoon highs stay pretty comfortable in the mid-80s. Down to 60 on Saturday night under clear skies, and then mid to upper 80s for the afternoon high on Sunday and sunny. Things look good into next week. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 71 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 57%. Winds are blowing at the moment out of the north at 14 miles per hour. Sunny, 85 for a high today. Winds out of the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight, 64 for an overnight low with east winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, mostly sunny, 84 for a high. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, clear skies, looking at an overnight low of 59 degrees with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, sunny, 88 for a high. South winds 5 to 10 in the morning, picking up 10 to 15 for Sunday afternoon. Mostly clear Sunday night, 57 for an overnight low. I love that. I like when we drop below into the 50s for overnight. Makes a good sleeping weather. And then looking at next week, it looks like we'll be mid-80s to start the week, pushing into the low 90s by Thursday or so of next week. All right, it is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and then we'll talk with the folks from American Legion Post 61 on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
What? My trade's got to be worth more than this!
Hey, Roswell and surrounding areas, don't get hit hard by low trade offers. Right now, the all-new Roswell Ford needs your trade. That means you'll get top dollar for your trade. Stuck in your loan or lease, Roswell Ford wants to get you released, even if you owe thousands more than your trade is worth. So you can drive a new Ford or quality pre-owned vehicle for a lot less. For a limited time, get 0% APR or no payments till 2025. Plus, we have a great selection of low-mileage, one-owner pre-owned vehicles, all in prime condition, starting at just $10,000. Don't settle for a low-quality, overpriced clunker. Buy a quality pre-owned vehicle from Roswell Ford for a lot less. Roswell Ford has partnered with the most aggressive lenders that will push to approve you today, even with bad or no credit. Lower prices, exceptional trade-in values, and a better buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford with new management and a whole new attitude. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell, or online at roswellford.com. 0 APR for 36 months is $27.78 per thousand financed on select models. No payments till 2025. Subject to lender approval through Ford credit. Offers not combined.
Are you ready to succeed? At ENMU Roswell, they cater to your educational needs. Their dedicated facilities and faculties provide you with an exceptional learning experience. From academic programs to behavioral sciences, business, health education, or technical education, ENMU Roswell offers a wide variety of certifications and degree programs designed to take your education and experience to the next level. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here.
So the weeds are taking over your property? Ask yourself, what would Jim Gill do?
This is Ben from Roswell Seed. If Jim was here, the first thing he'd do is figure out what kind of weeds you're dealing with. He'd recommend the best thing to get rid of them and show you how to use it. Then, he'd probably tell you a long story about the biggest weed he ever saw.
Big or small, when problems come along, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
The inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. I wonder if they got their hands stuck putting him in there. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from our American Legion Post 61 family, of course, Commander Lee and our auxiliary president, Jen, back with us this morning. Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today?
Buenos dias, El Jefe.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Of course, everybody's got colds and stuff, so everybody's kind of like, there's allergies, colds. Yeah. Tis the season.
Well, and traveling didn't help.
No, yeah. You guys, of course, they just came back from national convention for American Legion in New Orleans.
NOLA.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just last week here. So that's kind of what you guys. Now, kind of. What goes on at national convention for folks that never kind of get to see that? You know, because most people, if they, especially Legionnaires and stuff around here, if you're involved, they're, you know, at the city level or lower level.
Well, it's
they're not up
broken
there.
into 3 parts, obviously. Kind of starts out, the Sons of the American Legion kind of starts everything off on usually the Thursday, Friday morning, that sort of thing, depending upon how things get scheduled. You have, for the Sons, you have national meetings that start first. The board of directors for the Sons of the American Legion meets first thing in the morning, and that's what's called the National Executive Committee. And I'm the alternate for that.
Okay.
So we have a primary that speaks for New Mexico, but I'm there, I guess, for moral support mostly. But that's where we make decisions on what's going to happen at the convention.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of like the administrative body. After that, the Legion actually has subcommittee meetings for that whole weekend. So we have, you know, like aerospace and legislation and all this is internal affairs is all broken down into small chunks.
Gotcha.
So throughout the year, we collect what's called resolutions. Resolutions start at the poster squadron level,
okay,
and move down the line. And if they have national implications, they end up at national. And
so this is kind of how American Legion finds the things it champions.
Yes,
basically.
for sure.
Gotcha.
And then we decide what we want to get behind, what we don't want to get behind, what we want to send back and say, go back and do it again.
Sure.
Or, yes, this is something we want. One of the resolutions that went forward was, as a for instance, there's a problem nationwide with schools not having the defibrillators, like say at the football game.
Mm-hmm.
And not to get political or anything, but with the introduction of the COVID shot, a lot more kids are having heart problems during the events. You know, whether
science
or not,
has proved that the shot's done some things to some people. Yeah.
So it's so important to have a defibrillator. We all saw it on at the professional level.
Absolutely.
What was that guy's name? DeMar.
The Buffalo
Hamlin.
Yeah.
Or whatever, Hammond.
And couple in college. I mean, you see college games or some of these
If it
basketball
wasn't
players.
for that AED on the sidelines, they didn't have a chance because that golden hour gets reduced down into the golden 15 minutes.
Strokes and heart attacks, seconds matter in those things.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, for instance, that was a national resolution that we decided to get behind this year, which is why I called you and I said, hey, does Roswell and Goddard have them? And apparently they do.
Good.
And I guess Artesia has one. We're trying to do some investigation to find out if Dexter, Hagerman,
hey, if
Lake
there's
Arthur,
listening, Gateway. I mean, let's talk. If there's schools here that are lacking those, whether it's private or throughout the county or the kind of the district here, region, let's know so we can maybe see what we can do to rectify that.
So the
it's
other
not
thing
just
that
high schools, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, middle schools.
The other
absolutely.
thing that happens is we have things like the historians meet and stuff like that. So we canonize for historical purposes and get it on the website
Absolutely.
and stuff like that. All the things that we need to commemorate or what have you. And then we make decisions, what we're doing right, what we're not doing right. What do we want to encourage our squadrons and our
make sure the
legionnaires
direction
to
of the
be
American
doing?
Legion's going in the direction we intend it to go.
And then we have elections for the Sons of the American Legion, which this year we elected Joe Navarrete
Which is a very big
out
deal.
of Albuquerque.
Having
It's
a Mexican.
the first ever New Mexican leading the Sons of the American Legion, and it's historic because his mother several years ago was the national president for the auxiliary.
Yeah, so it's in the family.
So Monday's a down day generally for us. So we have things like Four Corners parties and where several states get
It is
together.
a social element.
And we
and
have a
aspect to it.
party.
Absolutely.
We go downtown. We went to Bourbon Street, things of that nature. This year they scheduled a night at the museum. They have a World War II museum that's second to none down there. And they got negotiated a special rate for the American Legion, so any Legionnaire that wanted to go.
That would have been nice. Did you get a chance to check it out?
We didn't go on the family night because we wanted to avoid all the people. Yeah. We went on a different night and we had a good time.
Pretty
and
worth the visit?
It was. We only got to see half of it, but yeah. So Tuesday morning really is kind of the start of the regular American Legion, and the auxiliary starts on Tuesday. We have the general meetings. Again, they have their administrative meetings first to make decisions for their own organization.
Actually, the auxiliary's gone high tech. Most of our pre-convention meetings that you guys do on the weekend, we did those on Zoom like weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look at that. It's like we're way more efficient than you guys.
Well,
we have
they also
electronic
do
voting
things
and all
like
that stuff.
electronic voting
Yeah.
and crap like that.
Yep.
And then, of course, we
it makes sense
debate
think about
and all that, and then at the end of the day, we elect national officers, which this year for the American Legion was Le Coursier out of somewhere in the Northeast. I can't remember.
Massachusetts, I think.
No,
we were deciding last night. It was
Massachusetts was who made the nomination, but it was one of the northeastern states.
Gotcha.
So, and then for a year now we have a national commander, a national president, and a national commander of the Sons, and they travel the world. They go to all the different departments, detachments, units all over the world.
Like when they get to that level, like Navarrete here in the Legion, like is that like a full-time job? Like is that something they do all day every day, or is it still a
Yeah, they're traveling probably well over 200 days out of
gotcha?
the year.
Like if they have a day job, is it really?
That's put on hold.
If you're going to become a national officer like this,
that's kind of your day job now.
That is.
Yeah.
You have to be able to make special arrangements with your employer that you're basically not
So
going to be
ideally,
there
most
for
people
a
are
year.
retired, probably
Most of them
that
are
in that position.
Joe is not. But Joe's a high muckety muck in his company, so
He's like,
he
I'm
can
taking this
kinda
year off.
Call
say,
shots.
"I'm
You call
taking-"
shots. You get to do those kinds
Right?
of things.
Yeah. So that's really what happens. Yes, there's a lot of hobnobbing. Yes, there's a lot of politicking. We don't discuss like national politics, but we have American Legion politics, which is a whole
Which is
different ball
just
of wax.
as slingy, mudslinging.
I mean, we have internal issues like Colorado and Washington and stuff like that. They're having their problems, but overall, I like to talk to cemetery people because they have insight on to solve cemetery problems. Because of course, American Legion
That's kind of one of
Family 61.
That's one of our tentpole things.
We run memory lawn, so we like to talk to national people and find out, hey, what's working, what's not working. What are you doing for fundraising for this, that, and the next thing?
Mm-hmm.
And there's
Is
some
that
really good
something we
ideas out
can
there.
apply here? And how are you getting members?
Sure.
And I always really
is that
enjoy.
networking.
And I always really enjoy the guest speakers. They have people come on and tell us about whatever project. they
We
were
had
doing.
a general come in and just brought down the house. He was awesome. And we learned some good things this year. National suicide among veterans went down by 1.
Yeah, that blew me away. I've never heard that. Of course, I think probably many of you have heard, 22 a day,
23.
Yeah, 23 a day.
Down to 22
Now
again.
it's down to 22 again, which I've never heard of that before.
Well, 998+1, once they initiated that national call center, it really helped.
Good. Now, don't get me wrong, we got a long way to go, but This is the first time I've seen it go in the right direction instead of the wrong direction. So that's amazing.
And one of the tenets of the American Legion family is be the one, and it's struck 61 pretty close to home.
It did hit close to home for us, yes.
I decided to go to one of the trainings that they had at National while I was there. So I actually did a suicide awareness, be the one type training program, and it was actually pretty cool. It was just a couple-hour seminar, but they gave me some great resources, one of which is an application. Anybody can download it, and you just go to your Play Store, whichever device you have.
Yeah, your Apple or Android or whatever.
And you do a search for, I think it's Be the One, the American Legion, Be the One. It's part of the Columbia Project. And you download the app, and it gives you not only resources of, okay, so someone saying they're thinking of hurting themselves, but it gives you questions to ask if you're in a conversation with somebody and you're getting a little concerned.
Sure.
So it's
gives a guide to help you.
It is definitely a
navigate
guide.
what could be a very trying situation.
You need to be armed in this situation where you need to be able to rapid fire react, because we all need to look out for each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I want to put a shout out to our chaplain, Robbie Cyphers. She hand writes notes to all of our members, and boy, this is just time consuming, especially she's getting up there in age too, but
she's committed to it.
She's committed to it, and I want to say that our communication in our Legion has increased. We only had one complaint from one of our members last night that she didn't put a phone number down there because she wanted to turn around and call her back.
But that's American Legion. You could have that. There's going to be one person.
Know.
You forgot to dot the I.
I know. You're supposed to say Sons of the American Legion, not American Legion there. So.
There's always that person.
But we learn stuff.
Yeah.
And this is good to be able to bring it back. The American Legion is not a great conduit for passing down information, especially in New Mexico. New Mexico's always had a dissemination problem. So that's one of the reasons why every year I make sure to go, Jen makes sure to go, and this year Robert went, so we can get the information firsthand.
And help disseminate.
And then disseminate the information.
Which is why we're here on the radio.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly. So, but yeah, so it looks like a lot of good stuff there, but there is, that's the fun. There's the fun part. You're in New Orleans. You get to go and do these stuff.
We did.
So I'm glad you got to have that good time.
I finally
we
got
also
to see the French
learned
Quarter.
that the VA did not get their bill reintroduced in time.
Yeah.
So veterans right now are at risk of losing their compensation and pensions.
I put
starting
a link
on October 1. So.
I need to refresh it, but it was a couple days ago we started talking about it. I put a link up on our Facebook page where you can kind of send a note to your representation, your congresspeople.
Legion.org/action. Now, I'm speaking to everyone here, not just veterans. Anyone can go to this website.
You got 2 thumbs and ability to get on that thing. That's all you need.
Legion.org/action. Go there, and the first one on the list is for the pay for the compensation and pension for what these veterans earned by combat. So please click on that. Put in your information and send that letter right now to
These
your
are the kinds
representatives.
of things that you don't let run out of funding.
No.
Right.
These are the ones you're like, no matter what, this should be funded.
Think of it this way. Your employer is going to stop paying you on October 1st. Who's going to pay your bills? Who's going to pay your mortgage? Who's going to pay your rent? Who's going to buy you food? Nobody.
And generally speaking,
important.
The veterans that do rely on that, many times they're dealing with disabilities or things that service related, and trust me, they probably don't want to take the money, but this is the only way they can get. You know what I mean?
I have a disability rating, and they would cut my money off on October 1 in a heartbeat because veterans are a lower priority with these Congress critters. So we need to make sure that we poke them.
Yeah, this is one of those things like, no, you will fund this. Y'all can bicker over some other things, but this is not negotiable. This one needs to be funded. And that's what the letter is basically saying.
Yeah, and like he was saying, the website, it can be accessed by anybody, and it's fast. It takes less than a minute to fill
Yeah,
this
it's
thing
very
out.
convenient for you, the user. You can
do it
literally
on
do
your
it in
phone.
2 minutes and boom, 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 and go about your day.
Right.
And we get enough people blowing up our legislators with this stuff. They'll say, hey, maybe we should look at this. This is
something
squeaky wheel gets the grease. Always remember
This is something you can do to give back to veterans, is help them out in a time of crisis.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple. It's 2 minutes of your time, and it can make such an impact in the lives of our veterans.
And you'll see not just the Comp and Pen link, but there's other initiatives that are being worked on as well. So if you got 5 minutes instead of just 2, click on those, send off your letter, and let them know that, hey, you're paying attention to this stuff too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And bear in mind, you don't have to be a member.
No.
This is just you as a concerned citizen.
Yeah. If you're an American U.S. citizen and you got a representative, then you are able to do this.
Absolutely. Moving forward a little bit here, we've got we're out at Farmers Market.
Yes.
We're going to be at Dragonfly Festival too.
Yeah, tomorrow's
starting tomorrow.
Spreading amongst 2 places tomorrow.
Yeah, and we got a drawing going on. If anybody's interested in, we're doing a drawing for a 1911 A1 and together with a Lady Lavender Smith 38, and $10 per ticket or 6 for $50.
Yeah, I only had a 20 on me last night, so I just got 2. And to be honest, like you hear lavender gun, you're like, oh boy, it's
a sweet little handheld.
It's quite pretty because it's not like plastic lavender. Like somehow they infuse in the metal. So it gives it almost a this weird reflective quality. It's pretty.
Yeah,
done.
it is.
Very
It's really
done.
cool looking,
and it's not as feminine as one would think it is.
Yeah, and we consider this to be like a his and her kind of drawing and stuff like that. Well, one of these years we'll probably do a pink infused AR-15 or something like that for the auxiliary. We keep getting people asking for us to do a drawing for a long gun, but handguns they sell quicker. I'd love to do an AR, but we need a vehicle to do that, and we got Eastern New Mexico State Fair. Yeah, well, Henry would be good too.
Yeah,
it's about as Americans can get right there.
Yeah,
a rifle.
I'd love to own a Henry, but I just never have. Really? But they're very expensive.
You don't realize the impact they had on the Civil War. The Henry repeating rifle changed a lot of because that came into being kind of during the Civil War.
Well, that and Sam Colt made everybody equal.
Yeah, early in the war when there's some of those regiments were smoothbore in it still, but by year 2, 3 of the war, those Spencers started showing up, and that's why Civil War got so bloody, because the weapons were way ahead of the tactics. But that's another story for another day.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, obviously we're going to be at Eastern New Mexico State Fair this year. We're going to be holding a booth down. The drawing will be on the last day.
Yes.
So come see us at the fair. We'll be inside the commercial building.
Now,
there.
do we have a limited number of tickets on that? I don't remember. Okay, so when they're sold out, they're sold out.
Right.
So, So it might behoove you not wait till fair to get tickets.
I can't remember the exact number, but it's under 430.
So if you're diddy bopping at the farmers market tomorrow or Dragonfly Festival tomorrow, please go visit our booth and pick up a ticket or 6. So
right. Yeah.
Because I can't guarantee we'll have any by the fair, to be honest.
Well,
hoping so.
Yeah.
Traditionally, we've sold about 100 at the fair.
Okay.
Traditionally, but they're going pretty fast this year. In
I
fact,
just hate for someone to be waiting and then we get there. We're like, sorry, dude, we sold out.
we had a couple members show up last night that don't normally come to meetings, and they're like Johnny on the spot buying tickets.
Well, great.
So it was like,
see you next month.
Hello.
Yeah. Right.
That's a good thing.
The other thing, too, is next month's meeting is going to be on the 10th, not on the 3rd. So we'll put it on the website. But since the 3rd, we're going to be at Eastern New Mexico State Fair. We generally try not to have a business meeting in the middle of the fair.
Yeah,
Right.
it's usually...
Although I do like your idea of a round table with corn dogs.
We do it right there. We all just knock it out. Like, oh, you want to be in the meeting? Come sit down. We'll get some members.
Right.
Good. But and another thing we want to just kind of touch on, we're going to talk more about this, but next Wednesday, Is it right? Next Wednesday, the 11th?
Yeah,
yes.
9/11.
Next Wednesday is the 11th of September. You might remember that's kind of a big deal that day.
Yeah.
We're going to invite our American Legion Post 61. We're going to do a little discussion here on the radio. But Farmers Market next Saturday, not this Saturday.
Not this Saturday.
The next Saturday, which would be like the 14th, I think, actually. We're going to do a 9/11 ceremony out at the Farmers Market that day. It's just a short little ceremony remembrance. We're not going to take over the park or nothing. Just a quick little.
We did a POW MIA, and a few people noticed. And then
kind of ringing of the bells, at the time.
We'll do the 9/11 thing and then move on.
Yep.
But we'll talk a little bit about it on Wednesday mornings.
But we're only at Farmers Market up until the end of this month, and then we're at the fair.
Well, they'll be wrapping up about that time. Usually around end of September, first part of October is
usually
about
first
when
or second week. But we will not be at Farmers
during that Saturday.
First week of October, and probably won't be back. So
Yeah, because by that point we're exhausted and need to recover.
So get it in now while you got it. But we'll be out there tomorrow, and we'll be out at Dragonfly Festival tomorrow. Which
should be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I think the
did
weather's
we make a
beautiful out there.
decision on what day we're going to clean up memory lawn?
Not yet.
Not yet. No.
Not yet. But look for that here coming up in the next.
We'll put it on the website.
Month or so.
We'll probably advertise it, but we're going to have a massive cleanup day out at Memory Lawn.
Yep.
Yeah, we're trying to work on the east fence line with all the trees that have overgrown and collected all kinds of loveliness. So.
And by the way, if you have business with Memory Lawn, you can always contact us. If you go to our RoswellLegion.org website, you'll find all our contact information there. If you have business regarding Memory Lawn, you can get a hold of us.
MemoryLawnRoswell.org.
That's the other website there. But if you just know American Legion, if you go to our page, you will find our contact information.
Yeah. Well, it's the same people.
It is. That's what I'm saying. It's the same people. But that way, if you got questions, or if you want, you got family out there, or if you want to bury somebody out there, we can help you do that.
Right.
Yeah, Memory Lawn Board met, and no changes were made. So everything is moving smoothly. We didn't have any interments last month, so we had expenses, but we didn't have any interments last month. So.
It's kind of a weird, it's like business is bad or good. It's kind of that industry. You're like, well, if it's bad, that's good, right?
Yeah, it is a little odd. Yeah.
Depends how you look at it.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
like, man, we were busy. We had 10 dead people this month. It's like, whoa, that don't sound right.
Yeah. Yeah, funeral homes and cemeteries. It's a little awkward.
Yeah. Of course, that's why they all have warped sense of humor. You ever talk to funeral home people? They got some warped sense of humor, just by and large.
Well, I think they kind of have to.
Yeah, you kind of, when you're dealing with death all day, you got to kind of look at life a certain kind of way, I guess, to get through it.
Yep.
Well, they generally speak more sensitively than other people, but
when the time comes,
closed doors, they're
when the sausage is being made, so to speak, I would imagine that's where it gets a little.
Did he
less.
really just say that?
He did.
Well, and I'm sorry, it's just an odd feeling when you drive by the funeral home and you see the chimney going. It just like, you know what I'm saying? It's part of life and it happens, but you're just like, I know what's going on there, and it's ooky.
Yeah. But the thing is, though, if you plan for it, though, like there are some opportunities to do that through the American Legion and the funeral homes as well. But if you plan for it, yes, it's awkward. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But you're making it easier for those who leave behind.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're taking something that's traumatic and unpleasant.
It's so important.
And making it as smooth as it can be.
That's one of the best things you could do for your family, and I say, is just make those arrangements. That way they don't have to, especially if you've got a bunch of family that are going to have ideas.
Well, remember that the funeral isn't for you.
It's
the
for those that are
funeral
left.
is for the people that you leave behind.
Mm-hmm.
They want to be able to say a few words and let people know that they knew you and loved you, or hated you, I guess.
But I can tell you this from personal experience: when someone passes in your life and they have laid out for you exactly what they want you to do, it's very easy and very convenient.
And then the people that are left know that that's what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the hardest things to do right after a loss like that is to make decisions. Something as simple as what am I having for dinner is hard enough.
But it's very difficult to approach the subject a lot of times with, I've done this with my family. It's like, well, what are your final wishes?
Yeah.
And they say, oh, well, it's all in the file. Well,
and then you got people like me. It's like, I don't care. Just
it's nice
stick me in a hole and call me good. I don't care. Or
ahead
throw me
of
in a
time
box
what
and call
your
me
plan
good.
is, so that I don't have to go hunting for it.
Right.
You know. So.
Oh, I always tell people, when it comes to the financial stuff, with your families and stuff, I'll have Matt Bristol on, the attorney, talking and good stuff. He said, like, once a year, you should have that conversation, with your family, especially if you're a parent with your kids or your children, adult or otherwise,
even if it's just a chock full of nuts.
Yeah, just to say, hey, even to say, if I die tomorrow, call this person, or if I die tomorrow, go to this drawer. If I die tomorrow, have that conversation.
Right.
Erase my,
You're right.
search history. Yeah.
Delete this drive.
Yeah, burn these papers, and that too.
But yeah, you should have those conversations, just to, especially if you do have where you kind of controlled everything, and
Right. Because the only thing guaranteed, as we know, is death and taxes.
That's right. Yeah.
So try to make both as easy as possible.
Yeah, and be smart on who you need to pay and who you don't. But that's another conversation for another day. But anyway, American Legion, we'd love to have you come be a part of everything we're doing. Like, we just had our monthly meeting last night for the month of September here, but we will meet here.
Veterans Day Parade.
That'll be coming up here in November.
Our first planning meeting will be on Tuesday, the
17th
at 6 p.m. here at the radio station.
Yeah.
I know the VFW is coming probably post 28, but if you're a veterans organization and you would like to put your 2 cents in,
or if you just want to volunteer, if you're saying, you know what, I'm a veteran, or I'm not a veteran, but I support the Veterans Parade and I want to help make it happen.
Things we always need are traffic control, things of that nature.
Well, and someone to pound pavement and beg for donations.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well,
beat the streets.
Yeah, that's something we need right now is donations.
Yeah, because we're still trying to work on getting our building put together so we can hold community functions.
Yeah, we're in a bit of a.
We're kind of on a standstill.
Yeah, kind of in a.
We had a problem.
Shift in plans.
The general contractor. We're trying to find a new general contractor, but
imagine that contractor problems, huh?
I know, shocking, right?
What a unique thing to have.
Right? Yeah.
Hopefully, we get that straightened out here pretty soon, and then we can start moving forward again.
Absolutely.
We had hoped to have that little building done by the end of this month, but we haven't been able to move forward on this.
But once that's done, that will be the Memory Lawn home offices. If you do have business, that's where you'll be going to take care of it.
So as soon as they're done.
Not yet. Don't go there today, because you'll be like, what's going on here?
So
you think there's ghosts running the place, but and then of course, come out this Saturday, come tomorrow, come see us. Like I said, out at Bitter Lake, we're gonna have a table out there, but please come out. By the way, see if there's still tours available. Go to friendsofbitterlake.org, call the number there, and see if you can sign up for a tour.
I wanted to do one of those tours for years, but I haven't gotten yet.
And I talked to Steve last week, and they said they had plenty of butterflies they're going to be releasing.
Oh, cool.
So, kids, they still got butterflies if you want to be a part of the Monarch Butterfly release.
Nice.
Just call, and it's all free, but you got to reserve a spot. So call them up, and then come on out there tomorrow.
Are they still going to have the little fishing pond pool?
Yeah, they're going to have all of that out there tomorrow and everything. They actually start tonight. They're going to have a talk at 6 p.m., Dragonfly talk, and then weather permitting, which I think will be fine. They'll have a star party afterwards.
Nice.
There's no talk of rain or nothing, so I think it should be pretty clear out there.
I wish I could go out to Bitter Lake, but I won't be able to.
Need to get jetpacks on your rig there, to
Yes.
Yeah, Commander needs a new knee, so if you want to donate a knee, let me know.
I'll check them out. See what size knees I got in the closet over here. Looks a little small. Let's go to this here.
There you go.
But anyway, come out and be a part. And like I said, if you'd like more information, please visit our website, roswelllegion.org. You can learn more about that, learn more about Memory Lawn. If you'd like to make donations to Memory Lawn directly, we can do that through us. Or if you want to make donations to us for Veterans Parade or any of the, just say, hey, that building, I know contractors. Here's some money. We'd be very appreciative of that too. And of course, another way to help is buy gun raffle tickets when you're out at the drawing. Sorry,
we don't have raffles.
I'll say raffle. Raffle's a 4-letter word.
Yes, we're having a drawing.
It is.
I should know better. In radio, it's really bad. But yeah, we'll have the drawing for the firearms here, and you can get tickets, and that helps us too.
Yes, yes, it does.
Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Can you go back to bed now?
I hope so.
All right. He's like, no, I got a laundry list of things for you.
Right?
Lee doesn't look like you're ready to go back to bed.
Well, I'm kind of the chief cook and bottle washer. I got deposits to make.
Yes.
So sounds like you'll be running.
Sounds like it.
All right. Well, good luck.
Thank you. I may need it.
Good luck. We're all counting on you. All right. It is 8:52. Let's pause for news. Lou, I did it again. Red Apple Market Report and your Chaves County Sports Update. Don't go away.
Now, for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Sorello. City of Artesia officials are speaking out against a state mandate involving electric vehicles. The state will soon require new EV charging stations to be installed at certain new construction projects across New Mexico. Last month, the Artesia City Council approved a resolution that opposes these new rules. A city spokesperson says Artesia council members believe such new rules should be approved and passed by lawmakers and not enacted or enforced in the form of code rules. The public is invited to explore Roswell's 7 Museum for free on Saturday, September 14th, during the second annual Museum Day, Roswell. The purpose behind Museum Day is to encourage exploration of the city's local museums and discover a wealth of knowledge our community museums offer. During the event, each of the 7 venues will offer different activities, including tours, scavenger hunts, kids' arts and crafts, and refreshments. There will even be prize drawings at each site. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
It's time for the Chaves County Sports Report. Both Roswell and Goddard are playing on the same night this evening. It's Friday night football. The Roswell Coyotes 1-0 after beating Alamogordo 41-14 last week. Will be hosting the Habs Eagles. Hobbs just coming off a victory over Artesia. That starts at 7 o'clock tonight. Meanwhile, Goddard, looking for its first victory, will be playing in Albuquerque against the Valley Vikings. Valley also is 0-2, also starts at 7 tonight. NMMI 1-0 hosting Eunice, which is 2-0. That starts at 7 this evening. Both Hagerman and Gateway Christian have the week off this week. They're both, of course, in 8-man football. Dexter is in action, though, at Grants tonight. The Demons are 2-0, coming off a good road win at West Las Vegas. Grants is 1-1 on the season. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll stay in the mid-80s today with some sunshine, but we can't rule out a late-day shower or thunderstorm. Overnight, low to mid-60s and a few clouds, and then sunny on Saturday. Afternoon highs stay pretty comfortable in the mid-80s. Down to 60 on Saturday night under clear skies, and then mid to upper 80s for the afternoon high on Sunday, and sunny. Things look good into next week. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
I'm James Flippin. U.S. stocks finished mixed Thursday. The Dow closed down 219 points. The S&P 500 slipped 0.30%, and the NASDAQ Composite gained 0.25%. Today, for Wall Street, all eyes will be on the August government jobs report, as the labor market has shown signs of softening, and there has been increased concern over the overall direction of the U.S. economy. Some Wall Street veterans calling it a mini growth scare. Yesterday's economic data showed fewer Americans applying for unemployment benefits, 220,000 initial claims received, and that's a decrease week over week of 5,000, more or less in line with expectations. ADP says private payrolls grew by their smallest amount in 3.5 years in August. The economy added 99,000 private jobs, 145,000 more jobs were expected. And S&P Global and the Institute for Supply Management's Services Index both beat expectations. In company-specific news, NVIDIA saw its share price gain as the chipmaker and AI darling denied a report from Bloomberg that it had been subpoenaed over antitrust concerns. And electric vehicle maker Tesla announced plans to launch its self-driving software in China and Europe early next year. That's the Market Report. I'm James Flippin.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
Don't let bad policies and record inflation take your lifetime of hard work. Colonial Metals Group helps Americans protect their future with the most trusted store of wealth in human history, physical gold and silver. If you're retiring or retired, go to colonialmetalsgroup.com/Kudlow for your free Larry Kudlow Colonial Metals Group Retirement Protection Kit. Call 800-621-3908, 800-621-3908, and call now to receive a free home safe and up to $7,500 in free silver.
Artesia General Hospital has welcomed cardiologist Luther Weathers to the team. Dr. Weathers is board certified with a subspecialty in cardiovascular diseases. He treats patients with genetic heart defects, heart rhythm disorders, heart failure, coronary artery disease, chronic high blood pressure, and other cardiovascular diseases. Call 575-736-8270 to schedule your visit with Dr. Weathers in Artesia, or visit artesiageneral.com/cardio appointment. Se habla español.
Check out some of the savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Bottles of Food Club vegetable oil are 2 for $5, and select gallons of Panhandle Pure Iced Tea or Lemonade are also 2 for $5. In produce, 3-pound bags of Red Delicious, Fuji, or Gala apples are $1.99 each, and large green bell peppers are 3 for $1. In the meat department, family packs of bone-in sirloin cut pork chops are $1.47 a pound, and family packs of boneless beef top sirloin steak are $4.97 a pound. These are just some of the bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
As we start off a new school year, it's important to remember how important children are to God. 2 of the first songs many of us learned as kids were Jesus Loves Me and Jesus Loves the Little Children. The following story is told about Jesus during his ministry. It goes like this. People were also bringing babies to Jesus for him to place his hands on them. When the disciples saw this, they rebuked them. But Jesus called the children to him and said, "Let the little children come to me and do not hinder them, for the kingdom belongs to such as these. Truly I tell you, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it." See, Jesus wanted to spend time with children, to bless them, and he wanted us to learn lessons from them. Being like Jesus means caring for the well-being of children, all children. At Country Club Road, we love our kids, and your kids are our kids. So bring your family and join us as we do our best to know Jesus better.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
The octopus and the squid both have 3 hearts. That's why they eat so many Tums. Here's Mike Winters.
And we're closing in on 9 o'clock. Town Hall News is coming up next. Stay tuned next hour, about 9:15. Barbara Gomez of Main Street Roswell scheduled to join us, give us an update what's happening through Main Street, Chili Cheese Fest, all that good stuff on again. So that's up next hour. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Colt Gray, the 14-year-old suspect in this week's deadly Georgia school shooting, and his father, who's also charged in the case, will both remain in custody. At back-to-back court hearings this morning, their attorneys declined to seek bail. The accused teen gunman is charged with 4 counts of murder. The presiding judge details the charges against the father, 54-year-old Colin Gray.
Currently charged with 2 counts of felony murder in the second degree. You're charged with 4 counts of felony involuntary manslaughter. You're charged with 8 counts of felony cruelty to children in the second degree.
4 people killed in the shooting at a high school in Winder, Georgia. America's employers expanded their payrolls by 142,000 jobs last month.
Although 142,000 looks like decent job growth, we got to remember that the last 2 months were revised down, and this has become a disturbingly consistent pattern.
Heritage Foundation economist E.J. Antoni, the government's August jobs report expected to figure prominently in the Fed's upcoming decision on interest rates. If you want to supercharge the economy, tax cuts are the way to go, so says former President Trump, outlining a multifaceted plan for boosting the economy should he win the White House.
The 5th pillar of my plan is to make the Trump tax cuts permanent. They are massive tax cuts, biggest ever, permanent, and to cut taxes even more.
Mr. Trump addressing the Economic Club of New York. Hunter Biden due for sentencing in December after entering a surprise guilty plea on federal tax evasion charges, accused of trying to avoid paying roughly $1.5 million in taxes. On Wall Street, the Dow down 123. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with the best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
Following a large-scale military operation, Israeli forces may have pulled back from at least some of their positions in the West Bank.
Israeli forces appear to have withdrawn from the Jenin refugee camp in the occupied West Bank. Israel's more than week-long military operation has left dozens dead and a trail of destruction. Overnight, Israeli armoured personnel carriers were seen leaving the camp for a checkpoint set up on one of the main roads. An AP reporter inside the camp saw no evidence of any remaining troops there as dawn broke early Friday morning. Israel's military had no immediate comment, but said there'd be a statement later in the day. It's not clear whether the apparent withdrawal is only temporary to regroup forces. I'm Charles Toulouse.
Ukrainian President Zelensky meeting top military leaders of more than 50 partner nations in Germany, pressing for more weapon support. Meanwhile, the United States announcing it would provide an additional $250 million in security assistance to Kiev. News and analysis, townhall.com. It's another reason to make sure you take good care of your eyes.
A new study from Johns Hopkins University School of Public Health concludes nearly 1 in 5 dementia cases could be associated with some form of vision impairment. The most well-known form of dementia is Alzheimer's disease, but the CDC notes dementia refers to a wide range of impairments to one's ability to recall, think, or make decisions. The new study offers hope that better eye health could be one way to lower the diagnosis rate. Bob Agnew reporting.
Federal investigators have seized phones from New York City's police commissioner and at least 4 top deputies to Mayor Eric Adams. That's according to sources close to the case. They spoke with the AP. The searches add to a flurry of investigative activity surrounding Adams' administration, his campaign, and the first-term Democrat himself. He was previously subpoenaed, and his electronic devices were seized. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ring through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Chris and Yarnos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Friday.
Happy.
Tis here.
Yes.
Tis sunny. Tis good.
Tis indeed. Tis all those things.
Mm-hmm. Tis indeed. But don't forget football tonight.
Yep.
Roswell Coyote football we'll have for you right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. They are at home in the Wool Bowl tonight. We'll also have live streaming video of that game at ksvptv.com in the Coyote channel. Got it Rocket football. They're on the road to Albuquerque. We will have radio only, audio only of that broadcast at our sister station 106.1 FM Sierra. We will have audio on the video channel. No video.
No.
It'll just be a picture.
Audio in the scoreboard.
Yeah. And so that we'll have for you. And that kickoff is at 7 for both. Bulldogs will be in action tomorrow.
Yes.
Or tomorrow afternoon.
Tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah,
pregame 12:30, kickoff 1 o'clock. Taking on Centennial.
Yep. And ENMU Portales, the Greyhounds.
Yep.
We'll have their football for you 6 p.m. tomorrow night right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. And then Cowboy football Sunday afternoon on in Spanish on 106 or 106.1 FM Fierro.
Yep.
And the English version on 92.9 The Brain.
You got it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All the foosball this weekend.
Yeah. So
should be good.
A plethora.
You know, I rarely, if ever, remember dreams. Like I never am able to remember or recall dreams. It's like
I don't usually either.
I'll wake up and be like for the first 5 or 6 seconds, I'm like, wow, that was what just happened? And it just goes away. I have had this recurring dream at least 4 times now in the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I had it again last night. I might have mentioned this on the air. I can't remember if I did or not. The dream basically starts. I'm standing backstage at the Roswell Community Little Theater. Everyone around me is freaking out. They're running around. They're getting their costumes on. They're getting their makeup done, wigs on. Everybody's rushing around. I kind of look out and I see just a crowd full of people.
Okay.
And then I hear the crowd start to get quieter. I'm guessing the stage lights go, or the house lights go down, the stage lights come up. And I am ushered onto the stage with a group of people for a play that I have never even seen a word of. I'm standing in the middle of the stage, and it's my line, like my first line. I'm not trying to put context on the dream or whatever. I'm not sure if I'm the narrator or what.
But you're supposed to be in this play that you know nothing about.
I was the first line of the play, and I have no idea what the heck we're doing. And I'm just standing there frozen, and everybody around me is looking at me, and then I wake up.
Do you think it has something
I know
to do?
exactly what the heck it has to do with.
I mean, is it that? Oh, I got to. I need to move that.
It's because of the stand-up show.
The comedy night.
Yeah. I've been so in my head. Like I don't listen to music when I drive around anymore. I just drive in stock silence, watching for premises.
Yeah.
Like looking for stuff that I can put into this set. And it's worked to a point, but it's my brain is just so overwhelmed with like transitions and hitting punches and the way it used to be so seamless back in like the open mic days when I was we just get up and go. It was seamless. I'd write material, get up, perform material, get off stage, have myself a panty dropper. Now it's a whole different realm, and I'm just like I'm in my head so much about it.
I don't think this is a bad thing. Like this is, at the end of the day, this is your passions. Like I know you radio, you do this, but at the end of the day, the thing you love doing is making people laugh.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you are so worked up on making sure people laugh that you and this is it's a good thing to like this is just showing that this is where the passion is.
Right.
You're so worked up on it because you're so you put so much importance on this because this is what you value. This is what I do is make people laugh, and by golly, I cannot screw this up.
And you're absolutely right. I've built it up in my head to be this different thing. I have confidence that it's going to be fine. But then there's the me side of things that always is like, but yes.
Well,
you're probably going to get heckled, and how do you handle that?
Well, this is the thing. This is my 2 cents. Yeah, you're going to be fine. Where you're going to be fine is because something will not go as planned.
Right.
Guarantee it. It's a live thing. If you don't think things don't go, you have that ability. You can go on the fly. You can think. Yeah. And when someone says something, you don't have a robotic. I don't tend
to lock up. I'm usually pretty quick when
or even have a pre-rehearsed response. Like, that's what she said. You know, you don't have to go that route.
Then there's those other questions that kind of enter my head where there's those other questions where I'm like, well, what if I like step on a toe or like, make the headliner upset or accidentally use a premise that he was going to use, the whole parallel thinking thing.
Yeah.
It's just there's just a whole lot of like I've specifically not looked any of.
We get to go first, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's true.
He's the one to be like, scratch that one off.
I've specifically not looked any of his stand-up up just because I don't want to accidentally use that as a premise.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to take a guess because of what he's doing and the nature of a lot of his stand-ups can't really be pet related. I just got a hunch, whether it's his own personal experiences with pets or what have you, but it's something.
Yeah, and I've even, like, this morning as I was driving to work, I started working on a bit referencing Clay, like referencing him as like what he used to do versus what he does now, and how this is pressure, but this is so much less pressure than the stuff he had to deal with back in the day. The horrors of being a cruelty investigator. That's right up there with one of the, do you remember when, this was a couple of years ago, Facebook implemented, like a check system to where like if their videos were considered offensive, they would block them and have like a team of people review these videos.
I kind of remember something like that. Yeah.
There was a whole like team where their whole job was to watch just the worst, most offensive, graphic, violent videos all day. That was their whole job. Can you imagine how taxing that would be at 5 o'clock?
I can't imagine you keep the same people doing that.
Oh, you can't. No. You're constantly going through counseling.
Well, just even at some point they're going to get so jaded. They're like, "That's not that bad."
Right?
It's a guy eating a bear
while he's still alive.
Yeah, but you see the one before. I mean,
that's nothing compared to the Fatwa I just watched.
At some point, you're just like, your bar changes. You know what I'm saying?
The one like bit of comfort I'm giving myself on all this is something that. This is where I get woke. Something that my therapist used to tell me is no matter what happens on Friday, you'll wake up on Saturday.
True that.
I mean, it's barring any kind of like, incident.
Unless you literally don't wake up on Saturday.
Unless I, by all meanings of the word, literally bomb. And then I wouldn't wake up on Saturday. But otherwise, I'm going to be okay on the other side of this.
So just to be clear, we're talking about you performing at the Little Theater?
No,
no.
For those who don't know, Clay Foley, who is a former animal cruelty investigator, he switched his career several years ago, and now he's a stand-up comedian. He goes to different cities and he does benefits and events for the humane societies of those areas. He's doing one for our humane society. Crystal's been kind of scrambling to get things put together and doing a great job, by the way. Props to Crystal for single-handedly putting this whole event together from scratch.
Yep.
But I'm going to be opening up for Clay on Friday, September 20th.
The 20th, yeah.
Get your tickets now at thelibertyinc.com. But it's less that I'm opening because I can open. I can do an open set. That's fine. A tight 5, a good solid 10, no problem. They want me for 45 minutes. TED Talks are 20. I mean, these people are experts in their field and they only have to present for 20 minutes.
He's doing an HBO special.
Yeah. I'm doing live at the Apollo for my opening bit.
Well, the other day I was at the Liberty and during LibFest, and I swear we had to wait 40 minutes for a band to set up.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about stand-up comedy is you got a microphone and maybe a stool. That's about it.
Bottle of water. That's pretty much all you need.
So if they can sit through 40 minutes of just silence.
Yeah.
then
that's the other thing is, and this has happened to me on more than one occasion in my MC.
So
gigs.
what Roy's saying, you at least be better in silence.
Oh yeah, at least better than stock silence. Which I want that on a T-shirt.
To be honest, maybe not though.
Not all the time.
Sometimes the value of silence is golden.
You're absolutely right, except for on radio. But yeah, no, it's going to be a great event. I'm sure. I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm saying the Roswell crowd's pretty easy. It's an easy crowd.
I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm funnier than dead air.
Sometimes. Let's face it. Sometimes a good pregnant pause. Oh, that's the funniest thing that
Rush
can happen.
Limbaugh, he made a career of it.
Too soon.
Yeah. But no, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
I just got to stop talking myself out of it.
I'll be there to cheer you on.
Hey, thanks, bud.
Well, I thought you were performing at the Little Theater at first.
No, the dream that I'm having is me at the Little Theater. It's like my brain putting things into places that make sense.
Now, we got to move on, but one question.
Sure.
When you said put on wigs and everything, in my head, I got like a whole Amadeus vibe with honestly, powdered wigs and
if you like in my head, the dream as I remember it, people were wearing like period makeup, so like the white makeup with like the one freckle.
That's what I'm thinking, like that Amadeus, that whole French Renaissance thing going on.
I don't know where it came from, but that's the what I saw in my head when people are backstage getting ready.
Well, when you described it, that's a lot of powdered faces.
I probably should have opened the show with Paris, 1865. Whenever the heck he was alive.
That's right.
But yeah.
But I was just curious because I was like, in my head, that's what I pictured. So I'm glad my head was right.
You were spot on. But it's just weird because never do I remember dreams, but that one is just, it is crystal.
Or I remember it for like a minute or two, but then when I go to want to tell somebody, I'm like, oh wait, I don't remember it no more. I did earlier. I had an amazing dream. And then they're like, what happened? Yeah, it was, I forgot now.
Dang it. Then there's that idea that,
but it was this gist of this, and you're like, forget it.
There's that idea that when you dream, you actually like dip into another of the multiverse.
Yeah.
So it's like, poor dream me is going through a lot of nonsense right now. I feel bad for that guy.
I'm at third parallel show.
This is a Sean C. 147. Yeah, he's a bit of a basket case.
He's only 3 feet tall.
It's a Deadpool and Wolverine reference. You really need to see that movie.
I do. I want to see it. It's coming soon.
Yes.
It will happen. Barbara Gomez from Main Street Roswell patiently waiting to join us here, so we'll get that going. She'll give us an update what's happening there. Before we do any of that, though, let's take a gander at your weather. Be honest, kind of vanilla. Just nice weather. It's just sunny, 80s, little wind. That's about it.
Nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
That's right.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll stay in the mid-80s today with some sunshine, but we can't rule out a late-day shower or thunderstorm. Overnight, low to mid-60s and a few clouds, and then sunny on Saturday. Afternoon highs stay pretty comfortable in the mid-80s. Down to 60 on Saturday night under clear skies, and then mid to upper 80s for the afternoon high on Sunday and sunny. Things look good into next week. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 71 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 57%. Winds are out of the north at 12 miles per hour. Sunny and 85 for a high today with winds out of the north 10 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy tonight. Expect an overnight low of 64 degrees with east winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunny and 84 for your Saturday. Another nice, actually the weekend's pretty nice. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, clear, overnight low of 59 degrees. Sunny on Sunday with a high of 86. South winds 5 to 10 in the morning, 10 to 15 for the afternoon. And then when you head back to work and school on Monday, sunny skies, highs expected to be in the mid-80s, 86. By around Thursday of next week, we might be back into the low 90s. But looks like sunny mid to upper 80s for next week as well, too. All right, it is 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take about a 2-minute break. And then we have the ladies from Main Street Roswell here to join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Hey, Mary, come on in.
Thanks for the invite. Your house smells great. What is that?
I went and had a custom candle made at Farm and Ranch Candle Company here in Roswell. They're a local candle bar, and I was able to make my very own custom scent candle.
Farm and Ranch Candle Company? That is so cool. Do they have any other stuff?
You bet. They have a whole mega station to stock up on Trump tumblers, t-shirts, and more. Plus bridal and baby shower, handcrafted steel furniture, and so much more. Farm and Ranch Candle Company can make everything smell better.
Everything?
Well, almost everything.
I'll get the diapers.
Farm and Ranch Candle Company. We're a patriot shop. Stop by 117 East 2nd on the corner of East Main and 2nd in Roswell.
As we start off a new school year, it's important to remember how important children are to God. Two of the first songs many of us learned as kids were Jesus Loves Me and Jesus Loves the Little Children. The following story is told about Jesus during his ministry. It goes like this. People were also bringing babies to Jesus for him to place his hands on them. When the disciples saw this, they rebuked them. But Jesus called the children to him and said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom belongs to such as these. Truly I tell you, anyone who will not receive the kingdom of God like a little child will never enter it." See, Jesus wanted to spend time with children, to bless them, and he wanted us to learn lessons from them. Being like Jesus means caring for the well-being of children, all children. At Country Club Road, we love our kids, and your kids are our kids. So bring your family and join us as we do our best to know Jesus better.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact tractors. The LX series is part of the #1 selling compact tractor lineup in the U.S., built with premium features and the comfort and versatility to make your land your own. Stop by your local Kubota dealer today. Right now, bring home select Kubota equipment for 0 down, 0% APR for up to 84 months, or save up to $2,300. Now through September 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Visit your local Kubota dealer, Amigo Machinery at 2801 Southeast Main Street in Roswell.
The tool used to measure your feet at the shoe store is called a Brannock device. The person that measures your feet at home for no reason is called a creep with a foot fetish. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Main Street, Roswell, Barbara Gomez and Peggy Seski back with us. Good morning, ladies.
Well, good morning.
How are you guys doing? How's life in your world?
Well, it's settled down a little bit, Mike. After the UFO festival, the cleanup is ridiculous. You know how it is. Getting revving up for it's a lot of work, but afterwards it's also cleanup. But we're doing good. We're settling in, have a few things going on, got a few fall things happening, and so we're glad that fall is kind of coming and it's cooling down around here.
Well, seasons change, and that means it's usually the weather's nicer, which means more people are wanting to stroll and spend the evenings walking the Main Street corridor.
Hopefully that's what we'd like them to do.
Or catching whatever's going on downtown that particular evening. That's the weather is good for that kind of thing.
Isn't it interesting how one day you're burning up and the next day you're kind of going, wow, it smells like fall today.
Welcome to New Mexico.
Yay,
105 one day, 82 the next.
Yeah. So we're kind of revving up, of course. This is September, and so Peggy's going to talk about what's happening in September. But coming up really quick here, of course, it'll be Shop Small soon. Mm-hmm. We'll be talking about the Christmas events coming up.
Black Friday, all that's right around the corner.
It's around the corner, so we'll talk about that. But in the meantime, there's still a lot going on Main Street, you guys. If you say there's nothing to do, you need to come down Main Street. There is a lot of fun things.
Almost every weekend there's something going on downtown. One of the businesses or one of the...
Yeah. And I'm going to start actually with She's a Dandy. She's going to be presenting what's called Dandy Days.
Okay.
And it'll be on Saturday, September the 21st, 10 to 3. So she's going to have a number of people out there with her.
Okay.
And local people, such as on the Main Street drag, which is like Farm and Ranch Candle Company. She's also going to have some flower arrangements out there.
Kind of partner with some of the other Main Street businesses nearby there.
Yeah, they're partnering up together.
Little block party kind of thing.
Yeah, and she's going to have somebody called Sodalicious Beverage Buggy. And
they sell steaks. Just kidding.
I was signing up for that one.
Yeah. And
I take a steak anyway. Not a steak soda, but
But she is going to have a few people out there, so just remember that. Saturday, September the 1st, 10 to 3. So she's putting on a really cool event, Dandy Days, which is really
come
cool.
hungry and come ready to see some cool stuff. Maybe do a little shopping.
Yeah, do a little shopping. It's not too early for Christmas. I hate to say that, but it's not too early for Christmas.
No, there are some people, and these are usually people smarter than me, so I'm not judging, that literally start Christmas shopping like in January. Mike,
when I've tried
I don't have that message.
When I've tried to do that, I forget that I bought all this
stuff.
That's
my problem.
And threw it in the closet, and then after Christmas, I'm going, oh man, I forgot about all these gifts, and I bought more.
Or I screwed up in another thing and said, and then I gave it away to someone else for another gift or something because I botched another thing.
Right. So let's just stay right close to Christmas for that. So, Books and Again, which is on 300 North Richardson, they are part of the district, and so they're going to have $5 bag sales on September the 5th and the 25th.
Those are very popular. If you're not familiar, and it's all nonprofit. So what they do is they're kind of a nonprofit for the Roswell Public Library. So when they have guest speakers and the summer reading program, the money that they raise from that bookstore goes to those kind of programs and helps out the library. Like when they have a guest speaker and like they do the refreshments and all that, that's all the friends of the library. The lending libraries out at the airport and all that, that's the friends of the library. But they get those books and people make donations, or they'll take books from the library itself that are no longer in circulation, or they got 60 copies, whatever reason.
Yeah, whatever the
reason. And then they turn around and
is.
sell them there for discount. But when they do the bag days, you walk in there with a $5 and they give you a bag, and whatever you put in that bag, you walk out the door with
so
the $5.
you could possibly walk out with
That's what
10
I'm saying.
or
You could
15.
get a whole library of books for $5.
If you're a reader, that's a good place to go.
Like if you got kids, go grab a bag and $5, and you can get the entire children's library in there. You know, with Dr. Seuss books and those things, they're thin. You can fit 1,000 of those things in that bag.
A bunch of those things. And it says that they have movies are 2 for $1. So I guess they must have movies in there that they're selling and trying to get rid of. So
and also check back in the holidays, because sometimes they'll get donations of like new stuff, coffee table books, things that are a little more nice that are brand new. And they kind of hold them off, and then they put them online and stuff around Christmas, around the holidays,
Great
for Christmas
idea.
gifts and
Good
stuff.
idea.
So keep checking with the books again, folks. They do a lot of great stuff over there.
And a lot of downtown is doing a few fun things. So those of you that like to play games, there's games happening at the Liberty. There's games happening at Stellar. There's games happening over here at a new place. If you have not been to Frost Games, they're on the corner of Main and Walnut Street. So they're on, let's see what day, September the 7th, which is, what is
that's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. They're going to have from 5 to 10 p.m. They're going to play Uno.
Yeah.
So if you're into that and feel like having some fun,
and they do all kinds of board. They do board games. They do like your Dungeons and Dragons and Magic.
Oh
and all
yeah.
that. But I even think they do a little of the computer video gaming too.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They do have a few computers in there. So
card games.
If you're into that and you want to meet some new people, why don't you go hang out there?
If I remember right, the owner actually designs his own games. Like he also makes his own games,
think you're
like
right.
board games
I
and
think
things
you're
like
right.
that. So you might even find a few of his originals in there too. So.
Yep. And over here across the street where it's the UFO Fizz, I heard just recently that they have some comic books, some handmade, locally created.
Like comic book, graphic novel type stuff.
Yeah,
and
comic books.
Collectors love that.
I had
kind of
a new gentleman that's on Main Street telling me that he does all the graphics. His daughter comes up with the ideas.
Okay.
And then he comes up with the
It's
graphics.
like a family affair there. I
For
love
the
it.
comic books. So if you're into comic books, that's a fun thing to do. And something new that I just found out about, I didn't realize they were doing it, but Peppers is doing trivia now at Peppers. And so Tuesday, September, let me get my glasses on because I can't see what it says. Tuesday, September the 10th at 6:30 p.m. on the patio.
Excellent.
And it's free to play. So you can go out on the
I believe
patio.
it's the Mind Probe trivia folks out there. I think I remember seeing.
You know
I
what?
think
You're
that's-
right.
Yeah.
Mind Probe is exactly what it says, Mike.
Yeah, that was good. So if you've been to some of their events at other places in town, then come check them out. They're going to be at Peppers here.
I mean,
so.
you have to be really smart to play those games since it's a Mind Probe.
You know what he does?
Trivial.
To be honest, that's just it. Yes, you can, but he makes it fun because you get there and like it's like if you watch Jeopardy and you don't know any of the answers, then it's kind of boring to watch, you know?
Right.
So yes, it's challenging, but not to a point where you feel dumb when you leave. He makes it fun for you. And he has,
plus you can get you a drink and get you some snacks while you're there
have
at
a
Peppers
meal
and sit outside. The weather's fantastic right now, like 80s in the evening. So it's a great place to be.
I think
at
he reads the
6:30.
room. So if it's a smart room, he might make them a little more challenging. And if the room's having...
We need to go, Barbara. So
I think we need to go.
Maybe if people start drinking a little bit earlier, then maybe he dumbs down the questions a little bit.
Dumb down the questions a little bit, yeah. You know, didn't they used to do something like that? I know Kiwanis used to participate in some kind of a mind game or some kind of I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
I was part of a team. Thankfully, I had a team that carried my lack of knowledge. You know,
and that's how they do it with teams. And they usually do it themed. Like one night it'll be like all about Friends trivia if you like the TV show Friends, and so or it'll be sports trivia or 80s trivia or they usually put it in a category or a genre of some kind.
Yeah.
So if you're like an expert, like okay, bring your friends experts
that are experts in all of
and
this.
they know all the Joeys and the Monicas and all
people
that.
that don't remember don't remember anything like me, you don't want me there. But people that remember everything about everything, you want to take them.
I'm one of those people. I have a lot of useless information about nothing that just rattles around up there.
Yeah, so it just comes out when you need it,
kind of
right?
part of my job, I guess. It's just the nature of a radio guy. You just know
you
stupid
got to
things
know
for
a
no
lot
reason.
of stuff to be a radio guy.
And really important things you just tend to blank on, but that's a whole
And
nother-
they come to you at midnight.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, right when you don't need them. When I do, I'm sitting here at 10 in the
What's that?
morning.
You don't
Orange.
Yeah, that's right. When you remember something that you've been trying to think about all day long, you remember it at night.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So anyway, something happening over at the Liberty, you guys. You know, there's always something happening at the Liberty. So if you're looking for something to do,
Matter of fact, they've done the Mime Probe over there. So if you
Oh,
if
did
you experience
they? They
over,
did
there,
that over there?
that's what's going to be over at Pepper. So he's
so if you've ever done that,
bringing
they're
it
going to
around
be doing it over
everybody.
here at Peppers. But they're doing a stand-up comedy, comedy to the rescue. It's what it's called.
Yes, this is for the Humane Society.
That's right, a
Mhm.
stand-up event for homeless pets.
Yep.
So you know what? We love our pets, and there's so many of them out there. You guys, come out there and have some fun. Go to the Liberty, and again, you can have some drinks. There's something to eat at the Liberty while you listen to this comedy.
Foley, the headliner comedian,
Clay Foley.
Clay Foley, thank you. He was a former animal control officer type. Like he dealt with like those kinds of animals. So that's kind of where his passion is. And then he quit the industry and started stand-up comedy. And so he kind of goes around the country raising money for places like the Humane Society, animal support groups.
Wow,
doing this.
that's pretty cool.
Our very own Sean's going to open for him.
Oh,
so
really?
Sean's going to dust off his stage. I
Go
get
see
it.
Amy.
I
Yeah.
get it. Sometimes things end up in the round file. It happens. You can visit any of these 7 museums before the event. 6 of the museums on Saturday to get it. But the 7 museums participating are the Roswell Museum and Art Center here down by the Convention Center. The Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, 200 North Lee, the J.P. White home in the archives facility. The Walker Aviation Museum down at the base of the airport there. New Mexico Military Institute McBride Museum, which is that one most people haven't been. That's a cool one. Like, if you've ever seen a Medal of Honor before, like an actual medal, they got one in there. Or you want to
I
see
don't think
some
I've ever been in that
Roger
one.
Staubach stuff, or
Oh, wow.
you want to see what life was like at NIMI, say in like 1917.
With
they
the
got
horses and the polo.
they got
Wow,
all.
that'd be
so
cool.
the McBride Museum's one of them. The Anderson Museum of Contemporary Art, probably the most unique museum in all of town. There, 'cause you can find things that you're like, that's art, and things like, I would have never thought that's art.
Yeah. They do have some interesting
And then, of course,
things.
to go with that, the Miniatures and Curiosities Collection Museum as well, too, right here just a block over
Right.
from us here on Richardson.
And if you've never been in there, you guys, they have so many interesting
Yeah.
things. You could spend all day in there. They have so much.
It's so much of the, like you said, because there's the miniatures, and so you start thinking of like Ripley's Believe It or Not type things, but then it's also the Curiosity Collection. So not everything's little. Some of it's just different.
Interesting. Different. Weird.
Yeah. And then of course the final is the International UFO Museum
Right.
here downtown. Now, all of the museums except for the UFO Museum, you can get the passport the day of. The reason you can't get it at the UFO Museum is because that museum normally charges for admission, and
Right.
with this, when you grab this passport and you show it at all 7, they're going to let you in for free. And so they want the UFO
So
Museum
that's
wants locals to come
next
in for
Saturday.
free.
Yeah,
next
next
Saturday
Saturday.
the 14th. So
Okay.
so they said, no, we want locals to come in, bring the passport. We love, but they make money by tourists, and they don't want tourists getting our local passport and getting in
Right.
for free when they
So-
need. And a Saturday is kind of a busy day for the museum. Let's face
Right,
it. So
right.
we don't want to take their bread and butter.
Right,
So.
right.
But to play, they said, no, we'd love to do it. So if you want to get one, just you can't get it there that day. But if you want to go walk in there today or visit one of the other 6 museums,
Yeah, so
or hopefully
7 of
got
them.
it. And then, oh, by the way, while you're going out, it's a passport. You get each location checked off. And then when you hit your last location, you're going to turn in the bottom portion of this, and you're going to get registered to win like this very valuable, like hundreds of dollar prize pack with like meal coupons and gift
Ooh.
cards. Like, I don't think
More
you need
than
to pay
one or just one?
Yeah, I don't think you need to pay for dinner for a long time if you
Wow.
win this in
I
town.
think we should go.
And
I
so,
think we should go.
And
Make
then
sure
I think each individual museum's doing a special little thing, so you can get like swag bags from each of the museums.
Maybe snacks or something?
Yeah,
you
some
think?
will have
Oh,
snacks.
wow.
Some will
That'll be
have.
fun.
Each will be doing a little bit different depending on
Yeah.
the museum.
Well,
But
just
they'll
know
all
that
have
3
things.
of them are right here on the Main Street
Yep.
district. So make sure you stop in and see
Support 'em
some
all.
merchants downtown while you're running up and down looking at museums. And just something else that's happening. This isn't necessarily happening on the Main Street district, but they sometimes do play which is the Roswell Jazz Festival's coming up. That doesn't
Awesome.
happen until October, but it's October.
That's kind of over town. It kind of
So they
be at the
kinda go
Pearson,
all
could be on
over
the
the
courthouse
town.
lawn,
They
could
go
be
everywhere.
could be just in a neighborhood somewhere. It just happens.
Yeah, they just show up and they do some free ones, you guys. So make plans to go listen to them. They're very talented.
You don't realize what you got. This is like it's called the Roswell Symphony Orchestra. That name doesn't really encapsulate what it is. It is really New Mexico's Symphony Orchestra. It is
Right.
it is New Mexico's premier and only symphony orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
And quite frankly, the players come from all over the Southwest. Like some come from Texas, some are very much from Roswell in New Mexico. But these are all professional players that come from, and to be honest, they only get together a few times a year. So that kind of
They do
makes
a
what
great
even they
job.
do even more special because it's not like they're in a room 24/7 doing this together.
Right.
You know, these people meet once a time. They got their day lives and everything else that's going on. And then for a time of year, they get together and focus on jazz for a month here. So
that
it's
doesn't come up
amazing.
till next month. But either
Yeah.
way, we wanted to give you a heads up on that one. And anyway, so I'm going to pass it on to.
Yeah,
Miss
she's got to
Peggy.
go. She's got to go stomp fire.
Gotta go do something.
Duck stings here, but
Zoom. So thank you guys.
but Peggy will take over here. But thank you, Barbara.
Got it.
But so I imagine you probably want to talk a little about farmers market and all that good stuff, since
Farmers market.
that's kind of where we're that's your specialty.
That's my bailiwick here is the farmers market, and the farmers market has been. It's hard to believe we only have about 4 more weeks.
This summer has just blinked.
It has
I don't know if
flown.
it's because school started early or something, but everything
It
just
did.
seems out of
August
kilter
1st.
a little bit. Yeah.
School was going in August.
But-
It's still time to be out in the
But
sun.
if you have not been to the farmers market, you don't have many left to choose from here.
No,
They're-
and we
they're-
have so many new vendors this year.
That's awesome.
We really
That's the
do.
great thing about it is each year you get more and more vendors.
We've been
and
getting
so-
a lot more each year.
So that which means more variety of produce and different kinds of booths. Now everything you find out there is it's produce, but handmade, because you'll find other things other than produce out there. But it's all handmade. They're very stringent on who can vend there and who cannot vend there. Peggy's kind of the gatekeeper on all of that stuff.
Yes.
And so they want to make sure that when you go out there and you visit, it's nonprofits, it's group people that have handmade and actual, not stuff you buy at a big box store and repackage and regurgitate on a thing. It's all local merchants doing their thing, their wares, their lives.
Yes, it's definitely handmade, homegrown,
Mm-hmm.
handcrafted, whatever. There's no resale items.
Yeah.
Our produce actually is grown. Most of it is grown in the county.
I'm about to say it's within probably 50 miles or 100 miles of you.
Definitely. That's as fresh as you can get.
Exactly.
I mean, they pick it that morning.
Yep.
The farmers are out there at 4 in the morning, picking for the day,
Mhm.
and bring it to the market.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's right off the vine or right
as
off.
as you can get.
Yeah, and you get everything too. So like if you do your trips to Graves Farm all the time, well, technically on Saturdays you don't have to because they bring it all here.
Graves
so
Farm comes
if you're normally like a Graves Farm and garden market person and go out there, now don't get me wrong, go visit, but you don't have to do it on Saturdays. Now you can come down and do it at least for a
Yes.
couple more weeks.
For a couple more weeks. We plan to go through the middle of October.
And that really is determined by crops.
By the crops.
If they've got stuff to sell, then we can keep going. If the vines run dry, then we pack it up for this.
Yeah, we tried. They usually let us know a week or two out
Okay.
that we're going to have plenty to go.
But it
or-
sounds like they're looking pretty strong right now. Like
It does
we
look
might
pretty
go into
strong.
October here on this one. so.
Definitely.
Good.
I'm pretty sure we'll go into October.
That's a good thing.
For a couple of weeks anyway, into October.
Because more food is
And,
more better.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But it's just a great time.
It's a
and-
community space. I mean, yes,
Yeah.
you come and you go buy some produce or maybe, get some great gifts or something like that. But really, it's just learning about your community, meeting your neighbors, and
It's seeing
hanging out.
everybody that you haven't seen.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a social
It's
thing.
like Old Home Week.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's kind of like a weekly fair kind of
We
thing.
allow
Yeah.
dogs. All of our people
Now,
take care
please
of
be
their
responsible
dogs.
pet owners and don't let
we-
your dogs go crazy. But
Yes,
yeah, you
and we have Keep Chavis County Beautiful that is partnering with us, and they make sure that if you don't have any pooper scoopers,
they can provide you with
they'll
the
give you
little
the
baggies to pick
bags
up and clean
make
up after your
sure.
pets.
So-
Awesome.
So we're
Because nothing
covered
ruins your
there.
day than stepping in a pile of poo.
Definitely.
Especially you
But-
got plans after the market,
But the artisans I mean, we have some great crafters, great artisans. I know the produce is very important.
Sure.
But our artisans are just fantastic.
Like if you're out for produce, if you're like, no, I'm here to get my garden or get my veggies and fruits on here. My suggestion is when they open at 7 a.m.,
7 o'clock, be there.
You are right there because that is because the produce pickers want the freshest, best fruits and vegetables. And guess what? Early bird gets the worm. That's true in life, in all of life. So get there early for that. Now, if you're just kind of wanting to maybe see some of the other stuff, sleep in a little bit and you roll about 8, 9 o'clock or whatever. But everything will be done about 11 or so. Everything's usually pretty much wrapped up.
At 11, we start closing down.
Yeah, everything's wrapping up at 11.
We are off that courthouse lawn by 12, and you can't even tell we were there.
And then some weekends they roll on with another event right afterwards, depending on
So
what's
that's
going
why
on.
we try to clean it up and get out of there.
Yeah.
By 12, it starts getting hot.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. About that time, you're ready to get out of there.
You're ready to get
You're
out
like,
of
I've
there.
had enough farmer's market
But
today.
we do have some, just a little heads up to those the people that have been asking for pickling cucumbers.
Okay.
We had some last week, and there'll be plenty more this week, from what I understand.
Excellent.
There's it's a cucumber, it's a cucumber, it's
Okay.
a cucumber.
Sure.
But they're smaller. when they're
Okay.
picked.
Is there just like one farmer that's doing these, or is there a couple different ones?
No, we have a couple.
Okay, good.
We have lots of cucumbers, and it's just a matter of when they pick it.
Okay, I didn't know if it was a certain type that they were after.
There is one, I believe it's called, it's not an Australian, it might be the Australian
Okay.
cucumber.
I know nothing when it comes to this. I'm like,
it's one that I've always
I'll
called.
take the green one.
Yeah, the green one. I want one with no seeds and no burps. But there is a hydro grown.
Okay.
Hydroponically grown.
Okay.
With just water. And those are, they have a ridge on them.
Okay.
And you've seen them, they're usually pretty long. 12 to 18 inches long.
And because of hydroponics, I wonder if they have like a little bit more control on how it grows and what it grows and what it's going to look like. They can predict what it's going to look like when it's done.
Yeah. So we do have some of those that have been there at the market recently.
Okay.
But the pickling cucumbers, everybody wants to do pickles.
Excellent.
So, of course,
I
we're
imagine
getting
there's plenty
around
of
to
green
fair
chili
time.
this time of year. I mean,
Fair time is coming up. So
yeah, we're only a couple now. Do you guys like that fair week? Do you normally run if they do run during that thing, or how does that usually work? I can know.
We're only there Saturday mornings.
Yeah, well, yeah, normally. So I didn't know if that Saturday you run, but let's face it, that's a busy Saturday morning,
is.
and
We will lose
and imagine a lot of
some-
people that
We
are
may
there
lose
also.
some of our crafters.
Yeah.
But then the fairs, the rides don't open till later in the afternoon.
Yeah, so that's true.
You know,
Yeah.
even the display buildings, the
That
exhibit
makes sense.
halls
Yeah.
are open later.
Yeah.
So it's still market time.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and it's just the first two.
And most of the shows have all wrapped up there and everything. Usually that's done by the Friday before, usually, and some of like the livestock and.
Yeah, all of the auctions.
Yeah, all
and the judging.
That stuff's done,
everything.
and that's usually where most people got
Yeah, and
busy.
that's in the evening.
Yeah.
You know.
So yeah, I guess it does work out. I just got to thinking, I was like, wow, that's valid. But no, I guess it does. It just
And
kind
we-
of there's
we-
that little sweet spot right there. It
Yeah,
works. So.
But we do have 4-H'ers that come to our farmers market.
Good deal.
We have kids. I encourage the kids to come out. I think it's important.
Oh, absolutely.
They get to talk to people in a generation that they aren't used to talking
Mm-hmm.
to, and they're interesting. You know, and they realize it. They come to me and they say, "I met. There's a person that says she looks like my grandma."
Yeah.
And I'm going, "Yeah, we do look."
Yeah, they socialize off their phones and off their internet
Yeah, you
device or
talk.
whatever it
You
is.
talk.
Yeah, and bring the little kids. I know, like there's always games and stuff, like the blocks and stuff. There's always
my
stuff for the
goodness,
kids to keep them occupied. If you're like, hey, I want to do some shopping, go play in the blocks, and I'll come get you here in 10 minutes or whatever. Yeah,
And the gentleman that does that is so great with the kids. He brings buckets and tubs of blocks for the kids to get creative.
Yeah,
and
and
there's
they have
no
fun.
limit to what they can do. I mean, I go walk over there every Saturday and see what they're doing.
Well, that's-
and it's bridges, it's houses, it's skyscrapers.
I swear, kids, you know, and I was the same way as a kid. And I think a lot of kids were. They come up with the most fanciest highfalutin toys, and they're really cool. I'm not gonna argue about that.
No,
but you give a group of kids like 4 or 5 year olds, just literally give them a bunch of blocks or shapes or something, and let them go to town, and they'll create their own world. And that's an amazing thing, because that's the kids that go on to do bigger and better things, because they're getting those creative juice. Let's face it, when you're that age, like we get dumber in the creative world as we get older. I think like
we
our
don't think outside the box.
yeah, the younger we are, the more open to anything is a possibility. You know what I mean? And that's where the creative comes out, and so that's to me, I almost think now, if I had kids that age, I'm like, no, I don't want no fan. You get blocks, you get paper clips, make fun with this stuff. And you'll be amazed at what your kids come up with.
A pie pan,
Yeah.
a tin pie pan,
Yeah.
and a wooden spoon.
Yeah.
That was
all
my
of a
kids'
sudden, they've got a 3-hour adventure.
Well, I mean, it's so, like I said, I go over there and see what they're doing,
Mhm.
and he's got all sizes of bricks, some different things. I mean, they build roads, they build stuff, and it's fun to hear him go vroom, vroom, and make those cars make a noise, not,
Be honest,
not push a button and
It,
get
it
all the
reminds me
sound
of a
in.
happier time. I loved as a kid. They put me out in the dirt pile in the backyard and gave me a shovel, and I'd build whole things. I have a matchbox car.
And tunnels.
I'm good for the afternoon out there. You leave me, as long as the weather's fine, turn me loose. I'll pick me up later.
Well, these kids do good, and he actually has words on a lot of the
Okay.
blocks, and so the kids will come up to one of the adults around and say, "What does this say?"
And then starts a conversation.
Or this says love,
Yeah.
or this says hope, or
Creates that curiosity
Yeah.
moment, and now it's a teaching moment for the
Yeah,
child.
so
That's
it's
great.
great.
Love that. So please participate in that too, and don't hesitate to let your
come
kids get up in the blocks and play in the blocks.
it's fun, and there is supervision there, and we take
Yeah,
care of it.
everything's safe and good. There's plenty of parking around there. You can park in the parking lot behind the courthouse. People park on the other side and walk over wherever you prefer. There's plenty of parking all around the whole courthouse lawn there
Yeah,
for you to.
and I need to give a shout out to the assistants, the
Okay.
Sistine League, that with the Assistance League.
Okay.
They are fantastic. They
Excellent.
come every Saturday, help set up the canopies for me, help
Oh,
our
wow.
customers. We have some
They're
elderly
those
people.
army ants that just come in and
They
make
just-
everything happen.
They just
huh?
work like little Trojans, and they have
That's
been
awesome.
so helpful. And of course, the people miss them if they're not there. So
By the way, come hungry too. There's burritos and stuff floating around, and so lots
and
of
my
good
gosh.
smells. So.
And we have a new sourdough bread
Mhm.
person that it's really good.
I imagine that sounds
and
delightful
lots
here.
beautiful cupcakes. I mean, my cupcakes do not look like this. My
Oh
cup-
yeah. You're gonna blow a diet out there if you let yourself.
Yeah, these are
But it's so good.
generous
There's-
portions.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
The other thing I need to speak about is the 2024 Chili Cheese Festival and Farmers Market collaboration.
Back on Chili Cheese Fest, and
Yes.
we unfortunately it was initially canceled because of it, but thanks to we were able to do a version of it. So
We
yes.
are doing it. We're only going to do it for Saturday.
Yes.
Friday we hadn't proved to be a really heavy day. People, it's the end of the week. They haven't really gotten settled
Sure.
down, and there's
Just weren't getting the traffic and the numbers,
and then
yeah.
we have to have security overnight.
Sure.
So
It's more
we're-
expense than the juice. Just is not worth the squeeze. That's
True.
really what
That's-
it is.
That's true.
Yeah.
I always forget how to say that. So I never say that. But it's going to be. I mean, the farmers are there, so it's like I said, it's a farmers market
Sure.
collaboration and the chili cheese.
Kind of a
And-
mashup, if you will.
Yes,
Yeah.
because we're going to have the best of both worlds. We're going to
Well,
do
and
it.
let's face it, there's a lot of shared values there. Chili cheese,
it's-
all ag
we're an
industry,
we're an
dairy and
agricultural-
chilies. Yeah, that's ag through
we've
and
got
through.
Graves Farms will be there on the front of the courthouse lawn against Main Street doing their roasting. So if you feel like autumn is in the air, come
Mhm.
smell it.
Oh yeah.
It's green chili.
Yeah, green chili does not need to advertise. It just fire up the roaster and it does its own thing.
The whole downtown. But we've got just a lot of good stuff planned. We're going to do an ice cream eating contest.
Gotta have that.
Yeah, I mean,
Gotta
dairy.
have that. That's right.
We're a dairy place.
That's
so we're
right.
going to
Gotta
do
have your ice. It's
the
tradition
ice
at the Chili Cheese Fest.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We are doing the jalapeno eating contest.
Another tradition. Yes.
So we're going to do that.
Maybe you should do that first, then the ice cream.
Then the ice cream. You know what? That's a good idea. And the milk will help.
Exactly.
Settle
Yeah, that'll keep the
everything.
jalapeno guys from
Yeah,
lighting up
maybe
too
we
bad.
should do both and really.
There you go. Maybe like a triathlon, milkman triathlon, where they, all right, jalapenos, ice cream. Oh, this people.
And
would-
then run around the block.
Yeah, I feel like it's a lawsuit. Sounds good though.
Okay, well, I'll put that in the back of my
Your back burner, back burner.
Back.
but yeah.
The other thing that we are doing is we're doing a downtown scavenger hunt.
Oh, fun.
And
Okay.
it's just a very minimal, nice little walk through downtown.
Chance to kind of stretch your legs and see
everything
the
can
main
be
square.
seen walking down Main Street.
Okay, so you can get it all down in the
We're-
corridor. Yeah.
We're not releasing it until Saturday. We don't want anybody to have a head start.
No unfair advantages.
There are only 2 people that know what it is. Only one right at the moment. And until I get my copy.
So it's not even you in there at this point.
I have no idea. Matter of fact, I'm the scapegoat or the, guinea pig, I guess, here.
Okay.
I am going to be doing it myself.
Oh, okay. You're the tester.
What I can do.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
So we'll do it.
But you're going to be the mark to determine the hardness of this scavenger.
See if we need to
harden it up or simple it up a little.
So I think it'll be fun. I mean, we have it'll be something downtown that you see every day.
Sure.
But maybe you're only seeing a portion.
Sure. Well,
it's not going to be distorted or anything like that.
Sure.
It's just going to be just that one item.
It's something that you see every day and don't. Yeah, I get it. It's like you see it, walk by it every day and don't think much about it, and then you're like, oh wait,
there was a movie, The Bells of New York, or something like that, and they were taking pictures of bells around town in New York, and it's like you see them every day.
Yeah, but you don't think about it.
You don't think about it. And it's right there in front of you, and all of a sudden it's going to be that'd be your aha moment.
That's why scavenger hunts are good to kind of remind you sometimes. It's like, drink in what's around you sometimes. Pay a little attention. You don't.
Yeah, pay attention to your
life
surroundings.
goes by so fast you don't stop to smell the roses.
But anyway, keep Travis County beautiful. Of course, it's going to be out there with bags helping us clean up.
Excellent.
We'll have some people helping clean up. Volunteers. We're always asking for volunteers.
Oh, we could always
will be
use
doing. This is our 31st annual Chili Cheese Festival.
Well, we got to pull it off.
31st.
Yeah.
We couldn't let it go by. It was.
It's a tradition. It's just something.
It's tradition. We had things in place.
Yeah, certain things we can't do anymore because life happens and things happen, and so parts of the tradition we had to not adopt anymore, and so it's kind of evolved. But but we want to celebrate our agriculture industry, and we want an excuse to get together and eat some ice cream and jalapenos and have fun and celebrate our community, and so we get to do that.
And we'll have some music, and we'll have some entertainment. We'll have crafts for the kids.
Yeah, and then get there early and get your produce, and then turn around and party afterwards.
Yeah, and come back because we're going to go into the evening. That is all what I have for that. I think it'll be a lot of great fun. There will be food trucks, vendors.
Excellent.
I do have applications out online on our mainstreetroswell.org.
So if someone's interested in being part of that, there's still time to get involved.
Quickly.
Yeah.
Call, please just notify me.
Yeah, don't make Peggy beg for it. Get it done now.
We have a lot because I'm going to have to limit the participation.
Absolutely. There's so much space,
We've only got
so much
4th
time.
and 5th Street closed off, so I can't have 100 vendors.
And let's face it,
food trucks.
your food trucks can appreciate that. You know
what? We're going to try to.
If there's more food trucks, they all don't make more money.
No.
So you get a nice variety, but not
we want to have
oversaturated.
food out there, and we'll have a few drinks.
Yeah, you want it so where those guys can make money too. If you've got 50,000 food trucks and only 20 people,
nobody's gonna.
But you got 2 or 3 food trucks, and then it works.
So we'll have a good variety.
Yeah.
Small variety, but we'll have.
Absolutely.
So that one.
Yeah. But if you'd like to volunteer or be a vendor, reach out to Peggy right away here.
Right away, because I would like to have it finalized in the next week. I have several that have already pulled the application form off, and we have lots of room for crafters. And if we have any more farmers out there that have some crops or backyard gardeners,
come on.
They definitely can come.
Absolutely.
And join us, and I mean some of those are fantastic as far as we have fresh flowers. We have everything out there.
Oh, yeah.
The only thing, just a heads up for December, we rush right through December, is remember we do the tree lighting.
Oh, yeah.
The first weekend in December on the Friday the 6th, and we have the parade. So start thinking about your float for the parade.
Now's the time, yeah.
There'll be more information out there on the
Before you know it, you'll start seeing the lights being put back up on the trees and everything else.
I love it when the white lights are put up.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. And, of course, we will have pictures with our famous or infamous Santa and Mrs. Claus.
Yeah. The official Santa of Main Street.
Yes.
That's right.
The official Santa. And they are, they're actually waiting to see all the little ones.
Awesome. Can't wait. Yeah, because that's why we have the rule in the light parades and everything that, you may have kind of a figure, but there's only one Santa in our parade. It's our Santa. Is the Santa, and he's at the end.
And thank you for reminding people of that.
Yeah.
Because We don't want to confuse the kids.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
You can have a stuffed one. You can
Sure,
have
yeah,
a
you can have Santa-themed
plastic
toys
one.
and everything, but Santa is in the
Santa-
rear, ready to wrangle in the parade. So.
And he'll be there for pictures.
Yeah.
So
just like the Macy's Day Parade, the tradition of it is the
Exactly.
Macy's Day Parade.
That is-
Santa is the official end of that parade.
That's right.
Same with our Roswell Christmas
and we
light
will
parade.
have a movie afterwards.
Okay.
On the courthouse
Excellent.
lawn. So
It's
come,
all right
because
there.
the parade starts at 6.
Yeah.
So
About that time, it'll be good and dark and everything,
dark.
and ready to get your cocoa or whatever and watch a movie or something.
yeah.
Sounds good. Well, thank you, ma'am, as always. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having us. We do appreciate it, and I love listening to you.
Well, I appreciate it. And if we need to get you in sooner, I know there's a lot going on in those months there. Please just reach out,
definitely.
let me know, and
Let us know.
we'll
Let
get
me
you
know.
going.
You've
Yeah,
got mine. I hope you have my number. Just give me a call.
awesome. Thank you, Peggy. Appreciate it. Tell Barbara that you took care of this and we got the work done. Just make something up like, yeah, I handled your heavy lifting. Something.
Yeah, I'll tell her we gave a new festival we're going to have.
There you go. It just created a bunch more work for you. So. Thank you, Peggy.
Thanks.
It is 9:58. Let's take a quick break before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's worst nightmare. You know storm chasers, those out-of-town roofers that descend on neighborhoods after big storms. They come in, do a crummy job, then poof, they're gone forever. Well, a few years ago, our area had a hailstorm, and right on cue, storm chasers showed up. I was driving home from work one evening and saw one talking to an elderly lady on her porch. I said, "Not today, buddy." I did a U-turn, pulled in the driveway, and walked right up to them. I warned the woman who they were talking to, and I chased away the storm chaser. The woman's daughter called me later and said a storm chaser ripped them off a few years ago. She thanked me for stopping this one and chose Trustmark for her roof. Trustmark Roofing. Every storm chaser's nightmare. Every homeowner's champion. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring and roof gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF. Or visit TrustmarkRoofPost.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
And we're closing in at 10 o'clock. Have an amazing weekend. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of it. Don't forget football tonight and Bulldog football tomorrow. We'll have it all for you.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Hiring in America picked up a bit in August, and the unemployment rate dipped for the first time since March. And a sign the job market may be cooling but remains sturdy. Employers added 142,000 jobs, up from 89,000 in July. Today's figures depict a job market slowing under the pressure of high interest rates, but still growing. Heritage Foundation public finance economist E.J. Antoni tells the Salem Radio Network the Fed should not be so reliant on the jobs figure when considering rate hikes.
This data has proven to be so unreliable, it's actually disturbing that the Fed is using it and is looking at it so closely to try to determine when to cut rates.
The unemployment rate ticked down to 4.2 from 4.3% in July. Also at townhall.com, in Winder, Georgia, public defender Donna Seagraves tells Barrow County Superior Court Judge Curry Mingledorf II that Colin Gray, the father arrested in connection with the deadly shooting at Appalachia High School, will remain in custody.
Let me inquire as to whether there's a motion for bond if Mr. Gray is moving for bond at this time.
No, sir, not at this time. We will allow alternate counsel to make that decision.
All right, thank you.
Before his father's hearing, shooter 14-year-old Colt Gray had his hearing. The teen advised of his rights, along with the charges and penalties that he's facing. Because he's a juvenile, the maximum penalty he would face is life without parole. On Wall Street, stocks have been falling after the jobs report. It was billed as the most important of the year. It came in mixed. The Dow dropping 375 points. Now the NASDAQ 436 points.